We're live.
Howdy, y'all. That's the first thing I see there. Howdy, y'all.
Sixth
Sixth
Street
Street
Garage.
Garage.
I award you a point for being the closest to start time without being insanely early. Mexican spec, you're a moderator, so you don't collect the points. And
Moderators don't get anything. They get a big thank you.
Is it Sayre or Sear?
Sayre.
Canadian Diesel. Sayre. Canadian Diesel. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Sayre's been a regular in the shop when we're up at the in-shop videos. I don't know if he's ever been here.
JB is here. Welcome to the stream. Howdy, howdy. This is J, last initial B, not JB. I think they're different. Yeah, they are different people.
Two different JBs.
Tavo is here. Am I a little early?
Yeah, that was
yesterday.
That was yesterday at 7:30 in the evening. That's almost 12 hours early.
I think Tim was here yesterday too.
As well.
Huh? Okay.
And Sayre, same as Sayre.
So some people are here. Turbo Tom is here. Jeff from Two Axe is here. Welcome to the stream. Dougster, have no fear. The Dougster is here. Potato, 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 potato.
And then our fear is gone.
I was feeling fearless after yesterday. It would take a lot to get me rattled. Yesterday was the fear, but today is much better.
Yeah, where was Dougster yesterday when you were going into surgery? He was he needed no fear.
You know what? He was in my I thought of the Dougster's
You were thinking of
reminders to have no fear because the Dougster will be here. Buddy Carofano, I want my points. I have yet to award you no points yet, buddy. But we'll look for a reason to give some people points tonight because it's fun to get points. Lester LeSabre is here. Good evening, Buff and Kim and friends.
I got something in my eye.
I actually awarded points to to Sixth Street Garage for being here.
You didn't tell
1 minute before start time.
You didn't tell him how many points.
One point.
1 point. Okay.
Yes. The points isn't on your honor system, so when you get a point, add it to your existing points and keep track. It's not my job to keep track of your points. Eventually, I'll set up a database, maybe a spreadsheet. You could set up a spreadsheet. He's got a DOS spreadsheet probably from 1981. All right. So let's start the stream in the official sense as hello. It is welcome to the Tuesday night in the studio stream with our magical green screen where we can show you visions. We are better than just a podcast because you can see things for your visual stimulation. I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my YouTube channel, which is Kim Fixes Things, elsewhere on YouTube where I try and fix things. Sometimes it works. A lot of times it's just very painful and drawn out. And we try and make fun of the pain and the agony, and sometimes it is entertaining. Sometimes it's even educational. Maybe. If you don't know how to fix things, you might learn something. Anyways, check out my channel and subscribe. That would be great for me, maybe. But currently you are on the Buff Del Campo channel. You're here with your host, Buff Del Campo. I am just the engineer, announcer, backstage kind of person that tells you about things and tries to steer the ship, try to keep the train on the rails so that we can have a good time and enjoy everyone as they come in. Since this is not long-form content, this is a little more off the cuff, live. We like to interact with people who are viewing live. So if you're not here live, I'm sorry. We're going to be welcoming people as they come, saying goodnight as people go throughout the stream. If you are able, you can hopefully replay it with the chat beside, but try and remember to read the name of the person and firmly read their comment to future people who may not be able to see the chat so that they can follow along and enjoy the conversation. We'll be talking about cars and car culture and all the things that...
I got a moth.
Oh, good job.
It's been flitting around in here, driving me nuts.
Catch and release policy here with all the bugs and insects and animals um, it will be released into the trash can or the toilet, maybe, where it can,
Yeah, whatever.
yes, evolve.
You have a stream of people that we have not said hello to that have dropped way back up into the.
Oh, did I miss people?
Yeah, you miss people.
No, Lesser Saber, Tom, Dougster, Mexican Spec. No,
Two
KJ
hat,
Kiley got here. I
two
said
hats.
hello to Two
Oh,
Hats
you did.
already.
Okay, I
Jeff,
missed it. Okay.
thank you for being here, everyone, so far. Mexican Spec says, Kim, just make a terms and conditions page. We can read so you don't have to say this every time. But
Oh yeah. Here's our terms and conditions. Check and sign, and then
yeah,
have everybody do that first. Then they never read it.
like I'm an idiot, don't try this at home kind of stuff. Listen, this
There's
is
another moth flying around.
there was two of them. This is part of this shtick. Uh, John Bossums,
John Bossums.
hello, Kim and Buff, and thank you for welcome to the stream, John. Uh, where did fuzzy dice and cars come from? Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up. I will find some pictures of fuzzy
Oh
dice.
jeez, fuzzy dice, like from the early '60s. Somebody's asking about this car in the background.
Up,
Oh, but you're already going to take it away
I am because
to watch. Look at fuzzy
look
dice.
at fuzzy dice, fuzzy car dice. Is there a Wikipedia page about where fuzzy fuzzy dice came from? Oh, there it is, Wikipedia.
Do people really care about fuzzy dice?
Origin and history. These believed to have tracked back to American fighter pilots during World War II. Pilots would. It's
I didn't
World
even
War
know
II.
that.
There.
And I'm a pilot that spent a lot of time in the military. What is that thing popping up over there? I don't know.
Dr. Art is here. Welcome to the
Dr.
stream.
Art?
Don't need to worry about the pop-ups.
And Dean Stevenson's here.
Oh, Dean. Hello.
And,
Moth Family Kamikaze. Yeah, they're like coming in like fighter pilots, I guess. Dougster, did you know about the dice? Oh, he did.
Okay.
All right, so we learned about fuzzy dice. Look how interesting this stream is already. But we're going to move on to the car that we have here and tell us about.
Well, Mexican Spec noticed what the headlights were from a Granada or something. So I assume this is like
kit car?
Late 70s. No, it was a factory built car. I don't know how many they made, few. And it's called an Amaretta, like the drink Amaretto. Except this has an A on the end, Amaretta. If Mexican Spec will probably have it looked up and know all about it before any of us can do that. All is here. Hello. Anyway, we were starting out tonight. All I had was a black background, and we were struggling to make everything look good. And Kim says, "Well, you don't have a picture up in the background," so I just threw that up there because it was a convenient picture, and then I left it there because I don't know. I guess it kind of looks like a Cord if they'd done the Cord in 1975, 1978 or whatever when they came out those lights.
The front bumper is a giveaway that it's a
well,
kit or a late model something.
So was the roof. I mean, the windshield and the roof line is something. I don't remember what they made it out of, but it's a fiberglass thing, replica. I don't know.
I'm not ignoring you, Mexican Spec. I'll get to it in a minute.
I don't think it looks too bad. Somebody says it's Fox Mustang based. I'm trying to look at the shape of the windshield.
Somebody could go to Brown's Classic Autos and see if they have a.
Yeah, it's definitely a.
How come you didn't look up the history?
Well, I did it one time, like 10 years ago or something. When I got the picture, it's just like you said, put a picture behind you, and I grabbed a picture, random picture. So yeah, it's a Cord.
Door handle,
yeah. Oh, yeah, the door handles. What are those for? Not sure.
80s Ford.
So,
yeah.
Mexican should start with 100 honorary points. What do we have? 2 kinds of points now? We have points and honorary points.
So somehow Mexican Spec has not been here when we've discussed the points. And something about the mystique of the points is I have yet not I make up the rules as I go, so I award points to people who do things. I tell them what they get the points for. It's usually between 1 and 10 points at a time that I award. You know, if you actually do something, like if you give an answer to a question and it's a good answer that was like niche, and you do it in a timely manner so it keeps the conversation rolling, then you that's worth more points, but if you just show up and I decide that you're going to award some points, that's good. You do not get I do not award points for money, although we very much appreciate some people have made super chat donations to the channel, and that's fantastic. We're not telling people or asking people to do that, but if you are able to, wow, do we appreciate that. Thank you. But I don't award points for that because that just seems doesn't that seem unfair use of points? That seems like no, the points are for something else, for other things.
Look at everybody coming in. Dizzy Izzy's here.
Oh,
Iceman's
Dizzy
here.
Izzy.
38 Racing's here.
Ray? Is 38 Racing Ray?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ray.
I'm bad with names. I should really know by now.
Rob's Rods and Streetcars. Everybody's popping in. This
I
is pretty
blame
good.
the anesthesia if I say anything dumb tonight. I don't know what my excuse for saying dumb things yesterday or for today or for tomorrow are, but I know for today I'm gonna milk it.
It's been what, 20
20
hours.
hours.
29 hours since you had anesthesia.
Okay.
Yeah. You were kind of out of it when you came out, and they wheeled her out to the car, pulled the car in like a carport, and they wheel her out in a wheelchair. She stands up kind of, and they're holding her, and I'm like, you okay? I'm fine. Just like what everybody that comes out of anesthesia said, oh, I'm good. I'm thinking, you're not good at all.
I had a nice nap in the car on the way home.
She goes, can I just get in the back seat? I go, yeah. So I moved the seat forward and tipped it forward because she'd had a recline, make more room in the back. She got in there and went to sleep. So, okay, here we go. JB. Amarettas were built by Larini Coach in the 80s. Looks like they used a little bit of everything. It sure does.
I am. I'm doing much better today than yesterday. Was a little bit rough, but it was okay. All right, we have to welcome some more people. Rods and Streetcars says howdy everybody. Buff and Kim, welcome to the stream. Rob, John asked a question, but I'm going to go back to that after I get to Blue Grit's comment, which is I just logged in and I could have done better not seeing that car. Blue Grit does not appreciate the monstrosity that is that car.
I actually don't mind it. I mean, it kind of looks like a Cord, like the old 36, 37 Cord theme, but it's like a late 70s version. I don't think it looks that bad compared to the rest of the cars from the late 70s. So, I don't know. It's could be worse.
Dougster's Wolverine Garage says, I'm eyeing the catalog now. The 6-slice stainless steel toaster looks good. See, Dougster understands how points work.
Well, does toast come out of that grill?
Oh, that is the 6-slice toaster. See, he's on top of it. There is a question we're going to go back for, but
yeah, John Bob has a question.
It reminds me of a song. Is I need a girl who chews Copenhagen. When she opens up her mouth, all her teeth are falling out. And we'll save up all our lids to get that pool table for the kids.
So what are you talking about?
Girl who chews Copenhagen song. It's how you.
Oh.
It's what points are all about.
Okay.
Okay. So John came with a good question. Oh, somebody said something. Oh, JB identified the car.
Yeah, that's what I read that.
So, JB, I'm awarding you 5 points. For identifying the car. Everybody else just kind of was like, eh.
What was it made from? What was the base?
Typed in and found this car. I'll bet you it wasn't Super E. He didn't even know.
JB, what was the base vehicle? Everybody's guessing by the shape of the windshield, the side windows, and the door handles and everything.
He put in the work. That's how you get points.
So somehow, I'm sure it says what.
He says they used a bit of everything.
Yeah, but the base car, that windshield, A pillars, B pillars, doors, door handles. I bet the dashboard is probably all from some base vehicle that everybody knows. I want to get back to this question
The
before it
question
disappears.
was, what was your favorite thing to do when you were an aviation mechanic? Assuming you had a favorite thing.
It depends on when that was. In the when I was first in the Air Force, I was pretty much sick of working on. I worked in an engine shop, and I was inspecting parts. It's a pretty dull thing, you know. Um, and then I'd go to car shows, local car shows up in Northern California, and I liked cars. Later on, working on the small airplanes, I like to fly them. I got my license and everything, and that's really what got me into building airplanes. My favorite part of a flight is probably landing and getting out, going cheated death one more time. you know, oh, there's a lot of fun things. I scared the crap out of myself a few times doing aerobatics. Didn't do exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, man, I
Yeah.
can't keep it's scrolling so quickly. I can't keep up with it. I may resort to a lidocaine patch if tweak my back badly today. Oh no, you too. Alice Cooper Studebaker. Okay, we got to get past this stuff. So we're just gonna miss. We're gonna miss some.
Um. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep going. Uh, my wife told her buddy, the anesthesiologist, is hot. You know, once you're doped up, everybody looks kind of hotter.
Really?
Maybe, potentially. Okay, so you can't hold that against somebody
How
when
did the
they're under
doctor look?
anesthesia. I don't know.
You know, she was back there in wherever
I
they're
was
doing the
too damn
operating.
scared.
She's back in the operating room. I'm out in the waiting room, and she's chatting with me on one of the chat programs. And she goes, "Oh, like they got the IV in and all this, and but I'm waiting for them to put the anesthetic in, a couple more chats, and then nothing." And I'm thinking, "Yep, they put the anesthetic because it just ended." So,
Yeah, that I felt nothing.
so
Okay, so I did have a minor surgical procedure. They put me under, so I mean I sort of remember a tiny bit of what was going on, and I've had several procedures before, but this was uh, a more bigger procedure. Basically, the way the nurse explained it, and she was like, "Do you understand what's going to happen?" And I was like, kinda." And then she told me, and I kind of wish she hadn't because I was asleep anyway, so I didn't really need to be made more nervous. Anyways, they jab your not just your spine, but your nervous system with these needles, and then they kind of like burn it to kind of numb the pain that you're experiencing. Well, my whole body hurts. And I suspect that it's actually like phantom pain from the procedure. So, I mean, it hurts all over, but I was in pain before, so it's not like they did something wrong. And they said it might take a couple days to start to experience like an improvement. So I'm hopefully waiting. I'm not I didn't do anything today really, but I'm okay to probably get through the stream here. I might take a couple breaks, but I think I'm doing okay right now. So that kind of covers it, and people may ask, so I'll probably end up saying again, I apologize. Uh, Hopefully there won't be too much more bending needed for this project. I'm not sure what that means. Uh,
oh, who
had
is
the
that?
anesthesiologist a
Oh,
few
because
times. I'm
because
jealous.
because Olive said her back was hurting. Further up, she's talking about her back
Yeah,
hurting
yeah,
from
yeah.
the work, so that's why she's saying hopefully there won't be much more bending.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But
Um,
you're scrolling the wrong direction, so
I know, I know, I
we're
know.
not keeping up with anything.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Um, sorry, I'm uh skipping some weather related stuff. I'm not reading that song, Dougster, but I see it. It looks like an '80s roof line. I can see that. Uh, it resembles a 73, 74 Studebaker. Studebaker. I don't think it necessarily does. Maybe there's some there. I'm seeing them on G body GM chassis. Um, Her friend said it was true. It could be true. Nurses can be attractive. Um, Flight attendants as well. It's kind of their job to.
There's a difference between hot and looking professional, and flight attendants really are supposed to look
I mean,
professional,
I
and they
think
do.
well kept professional people, just that vibe is very attractive. So I don't
Hmm.
think it's too hard to look good once
Oh,
you
they're saying our volume's not good. What happened to our volume down here? We have
uh
no volume.
go down there.
I'm trying.
Oh, I'm the one
No,
that goes down.
my thing won't do that. Okay, it sure looks like we have volume. What's going
We
on?
definitely have volume.
Hello.
Who that?
Not supposed to go into the red. I don't know what's going on there, Mexican spec. Is your volume down by any chance?
Oh, maybe I'm not talking loud enough. Here, aim it towards me. I'm the
Aim the
quiet
mic
one.
toward you. Get this moth out of here. Man, it's driving me
I'm
nuts.
the quiet one.
Yeah, so let's see what's going on. If we sound any better to Mexican spec or anybody else. Amaretta made from Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Oh yeah, it looks like a Monte Carlo top, according to Hemmings in 2016, 1987 Amaretta in the Hemmings article. Okay, I mean when I look at that now, I go, yeah, of course that's a Monte Carlo, but I wouldn't have known it just looking at it. But I'd say yeah, it does look like it.
It looks to me like that's some kind of medallion in the front there.
Yeah,
It
it's
does not
probably
look like a faux crank
it's
starter.
something they made.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Good question.
Somebody did that, and that was like their dream car, and they produced some of them, and then they stopped. Maybe they sold some. I don't know. I've never seen one other than that picture, so don't know. Uh, let's see here. Careful with the anesthesia. I had an operation. Then a week later, I had an ambulance ride after collapsing at the local pick and pull. It stays in your system for a while. Uh-oh.
Blue Grit, I understand. That's a good warning to anybody who's going to have a surgical procedure. That anesthesia, it will also, so they use multiple different things. They use one thing to put you to sleep, and then they use something else to wake you back up. And that will deplete your body of certain nutrients as your body processes that out. It'll tire out your kidneys, and yeah, you may feel a little bit off for a little bit of time. So definitely do not plan to immediately jump back in full bore into your regular routine, because any procedure where they feel it's necessary to put you to sleep, it's probably serious enough that you should give yourself a little bit of extra
I
recovery
want
time.
to kill this
Oh, you
moth.
are really
That is
um
driving me nuts. Ah, he's not going to do anything again, or
aggressive
she.
towards the insects
Yeah, that
tonight.
insect is done. That insect is done.
Okay.
Well,
You all sound
it's like
fine.
flitting
Well,
around and flitting around. It's like that's really distracting.
my voice is a different tone than his, so even though it may show as the same volume, that because it's a different tone, some speakers might not project my voice the same. We do our best. We do our best.
Talking to this D104.
That's right. I'll talk straight into the microphone. Is that better?
That microphone isn't hooked to anything.
Okay.
30 to 40 Amarettas made, according to Hemmings. Man, there's 30 or 40 of them. I've never seen one. Never seen one in a museum, in a car show. Never seen one on the road. I just saw this picture one time and snagged it because it's the only one I ever saw. Wow. I'd like I'd like some Dean. I'd like something that can paralyze myself from the eyebrows up. Hmm.
Dean Stevenson is making messages and retracting them before we even get a chance to read them. Iceman 2010, welcome to the stream. I don't think I said hello to you yet, although I see that you've made a bunch of comments to the chat. Um, Thank you for being here.
I feel 38 says I feel awesome after my surgeries. I was warned not to get carried away.
I know the last
Oh,
round of injections that
he
I
wants.
had, they were a different procedure. It was a nerve block. This was a nerve splay. But after the last nerve block, um, I
Oh,
went
yeah.
at it for a couple days straight. I really hit it, like, was like just like doing everything, and I felt great. So, yeah, different people may react to different things differently. Just be aware that you might be great and you might not, and it might be different this time from next time. Anyways, plus if you can milk a day off of work, I mean, you should. You should. Especially if you'd been through it like I have been. I'll tell you that because I know I have gone back to work too soon after surgeries. Um, I know when I had my lower back surgery, I went back to work as fast as I could. I thought that that was the right thing to do, and it made no difference. I could have taken extra time, and it would have been the same, and I would have had more time to recover. Let's see.
Yeah, it's actually it's a Monte Carlo, I guess. The Mexican spec wanted to see the back end. There's the back end. I think those are Monte Carlo taillights, aren't they? I'm not sure. Um, named after an alcoholic drink. Well, amaretto with an O on the end is an alcoholic drink. This is amaretta, which is an A on the end, which that's the first thing I thought of. Was named after
Alcohol?
yeah, an alcoholic drink. What is amaretto? It's like a liqueur.
Oh,
But I guess it's close. Uh, yeah, probably a good name for a car.
the
Somebody
rear's
dreamt
even
up.
worse than the front.
Hmm?
It just doesn't fit that car. It's a weird. Just I don't know. I mean, when I can do better, maybe I'll judge them more harshly. But like,
Yeah, somebody did it. It's their design, their
see,
dream car, and they sold 30 to 40 of them. I don't know if you can design a car and build them and sell 30 to 40 of them. I guess that's some success, and whoever did that went on and did something else.
Ron Ward, welcome to the stream. Mostly old parts is our friend and announcer from the No Name Nationals. Says hello, hi Kim, hi Buff. Glad you're here, Ron.
Dougster says amaretto is the female liqueur.
Okay.
Yes.
Those are Monte Carlo tail lights. There's one thing I got to scroll back for. JB says that he has an MC1R gene and it's odd mutation. And I woke up during the past 3 surgeries and I've been advised not to have more. I hope that you don't need
Oh,
any
my
more. And I don't understand what that is exactly, but I'm sorry. And
my
keep
my grandfather woke up during the surgery.
keep faith. Oh, I've woken up. I woke up when they were trying to take my wisdom teeth out many years ago. That was kind of unpleasant. Like ah, and they're yeah. The guy had like his foot on my chest and he's like pulling with pliers. That was really unpleasant. But things
Oh,
change and
yes.
doctors learn because it is a practice. And like when I was in Pittsburgh, this nerve splay treatment that's supposed to work really well for pain, it was not an available thing. It was just like more meds, more meds, more meds. And I'm like, how long is my liver going to hold out? But when I came here to Tennessee, they were like, well, we can try this and this and this. And I'm like, I have options now? That's great. And it was only like 5 years later and in a different state. So, like, be your own best advocate and keep looking for solutions. There's a couple of really nasty diseases that they absolutely found like whole on cures for in the last 10 years. So hopefully they can continue to find better treatments. And I know that that's not always the case, but we can try and have hope. Oh, I had a Pontiac Sunbird once and the motor blew up on me in like 1,200 miles. Man, what a loss. Lost all my money. Anyways, these things happen. Any drink with alcohol can be an alcoholic drink, just thinking this through logically. That's true. But if you don't give it a name, then it's just a mix. 40 people were dumb enough to pay money for that. Yes. And that goes to show you that, yes,
Well,
the
40
world
people
is full
liked
of
it.
that.
40 people liked it. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, when it was new,
There's cars that are production cars that I think look horrible. Lots of people buy them. So I don't know. Steering wheel looks like from an early 90s. It does look like a Pontiac steering wheel, but
yeah,
they
it
said
does.
it was made from a Monte Carlo. What does the inset on the dash panel look like? Is that a Monte
Oh.
Carlo from that? I don't remember driving many of those, if any. So, yeah, it's definitely a Pontiac steering wheel.
The other thing is if you think about it in the context, go back to that beginning picture. In the context of 1987 or maybe 1989, there was no PT Cruiser. There was none of these retro throwback kind of cars that they make now, like the HHR or anything like that. So this was really outside the box, all the cars had that Malaise square body kind of thing, and this thing has these like rounded fenders and stuff. Like this is really out.
Oops.
This would have been a attention grabbing car. I'm not
Oh,
saying I
it's
want
still
this
an
car.
it's still an attention grabbing
No,
car.
this is a
Oh,
vomit inducing.
it's a. Oh, come on! Everybody's going to give it a hard time.
But in the context of the time,
It's a rear
this was
drive car.
different.
It's
This
a
looks nothing like a Monte Carlo.
it's a Monte Carlo. It's from somebody, from the firewall back
But it's
to
incredibly
whatever.
customized. It's
Yeah,
something really neat.
somebody did that. Somebody
I wonder if it's
somebody
front
did
wheel
all.
drive. That's a really good
It's rear
question.
drive because it's a Monte Carlo.
Oh,
It's a
that's right.
boxy Monte Carlo.
Right, it would have been a Torino. What kind of car was it? Buff that Dean has sent you an email.
Oh, okay. And I have pictures to share.
Iceman says those may be Trans Am seats. So it could be the Pontiac
Oh,
interior.
they have a whole. It's like Mexican Spec says. They get parts from everywhere.
Yeah, it's like an AMC.
I don't see an email. No
Blackhawk is better
email.
looking this
No
than,
current email. Let's see.
but
Dean
even that's a
Stevenson. Wait a
funky
minute.
car
Dean
too.
Stevenson. Del Campo has an email. I have a bunch of emails, but none from.
That's called an attention getter. Yeah. KJ Kylie. I mean, I don't know. And the other thing is in 1987, it was a brand new car. It would have been, I don't know, something. It would have been something. I remember the old Rivieras. They were nothing to really brag about in 87 either. So they were old man cars. Although this is kind of an old man car. I wonder where that hood splits to open. Do you think the grill lifts up, or do you think it lifts up on top of that grill? I bet you it's
I
pain in the butt to get to the
I bet
motor.
it just lifts up like a.
Mexican Spec says he knows all kind of people who bought them, and they all had gray hair. The Rivieras, yeah.
That's pretty funny. The front bumper looks familiar, only inverted. Yeah,
He put it on upside down.
Could be upside down to make it custom. Oh, you got it right. The email address. Well, I'm looking for emails. I got a bunch of emails here. And I
Do you take it to the Ford dealer, the Chevy, or the Pontiac dealer? I don't know how much warranty you're going to get on that vehicle.
checker A class. Yeah, I don't know.
Olive, my thing is not so much muscle spasms. I have nerve damage that causes uncontrolled clenching, which I guess sounds like muscle spasms, but it's really not the same. I don't know, maybe it kind of is. Nobody has suggested lidocaine patches, but I will talk to my doctor about that um, and see what they think in regard to my specific condition, if they think that that's something people have luck with. Because I'm in a position where, in order to get treatment, I have to be very in close interaction with the pain clinic. And if I do anything without talking to them first, they might get mad. So I'll ask them. If it's topical, it's probably something I could consider. The weirdest thing is my lower back hurts more than my neck, which maybe my lower back always hurts this much and I just don't notice because my neck hurts so bad that I only can notice my neck. And now that my neck is feeling a little better, now I notice how bad my back hurts. Or maybe just my kidneys are angry from the sedation, because that does usually bother me for a couple days. But we'll see. I don't want to talk about it all night. I'm doing okay. We're already what, half an hour in, and I'm still upright. So that's a win.
Is Tim here tonight? I haven't noticed that Tim came in tonight.
Tim commented yesterday at the top of the stream.
That's right. Okay.
So
this is a picture he sent of Pikes Peak.
Oh.
I have more pictures that Tim sent.
Well, we can come back if Tim comes in.
I also have a picture here of what looks to me like a 65 GTO or Le Mans or something. Somebody sent, but I don't know. I don't know who sent it
If
because
you're sending pictures to the stream for us to put on stream, please try and remember to put uh, your screen name
it,
because your email address or your given name might be different, and sometimes we get lost or confused. Sometimes we know your name, but we like when we see it in an email, like it gets lost in translation. We're old, and I'm brain damaged, so like, please just forgive us. We're trying. Help us out in any way you possibly can with names. And I'm going to send out the email address.
I just did that, but you can do it again.
Oh,
I know you're not. You're
I'm talking a lot
yeah.
tonight.
No, you're not missing everything I'm doing, but that's
Ah,
okay.
I'm
And
trying.
Junk Car Willie, I see him come in. I say hi. Dean sent us a picture that I can't put up.
Junkar Willie was here a while ago.
See this? Yeah.
Oh, the best late night show on YouTube. You know what? If you click on the live, sorry, what's up?
Dean sent me a picture I can't put up.
Oh,
Dean, you can send that to me, I guess, but it's not going up.
Dean, put a like a bar across it,
Put
and then send it
some
send it again.
put some clothes on that
Or some
person.
flowers or something, some
Put some
starfish on there.
put some clothes on that person.
Because it's a cool picture, we'll put it up. But we can't put it up with exposed.
Bazooms.
Yeah, bosoms.
What's her name? Used to say bazooms. Yeah, okay. Oh, Lot Burns is here. Yeah, Lot Burns. Lot Burns sent us a picture. Let me put that up. This is from last week, but we didn't put
Have
it
the
up.
drain bramage.
We
We
ran
do.
out of time. Lot Burns, you're gonna have to tell us about this. He says, what did he say? He said it's Tesla's new headlight. This beacon installed in 1964 on a tower in the backyard of the lighthouse. Then in 1986, it was placed inside the lighthouse tower, providing guidance to mariners for 54 years until the malfunction of its rotating mechanism in 2018. Wow. But his email said new Tesla headlight, but that's quite a thing.
Oh, if you've ever had a Tesla behind you, I think maybe he's suggesting that the lights are a little too bright. Redaction?
Okay. I'm sorry, Kim. I was just trying to get a little something in. Now go ahead with whatever you're rolling on about.
Okay. Blue grit,
And I want to.
I think muscle spasm is kind of a generic word, maybe, and it doesn't necessarily indicate the causation, and it doesn't necessarily need to pulsate. But usually, when it doesn't pulsate, it's considered like a cramp or Charlie horse, something like that.
Charlie Horse. I remember
Yeah,
those.
it'll just grab and clench and not let go. But a spasm will like something like a twitch. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm a car person, or I'm not even that. Um, it's definitely not anything pornographic Mexican spec. It was just
Pornographic. What
I
is this?
just changed lettering in the thing. Okay, I have not had a Tesla behind me. I saw one once. We keep seeing the same one. It's got a black wrap on it, and it's got a real estate agent's here in
Yeah,
Clarksville's
somebody's got a black one around here.
like their logo and stuff on it, their name and their phone number all over it. It's like a rolling billboard, and we've run into it, not literally wrecked into it, but encountered it in our driving around the town multiple times. So they live on one side of us, and Clarksville's on the other side of us. So we see it coming and going pretty regularly, but only just that one. I don't know if I've seen another. Um,
It's definitely a black wrapped.
Imagine the heat that comes off that light. Is it a halogen? I didn't even see what it said it was.
Well, here I can zoom in on the description in the museum.
It just says it's a beacon.
Well, you can imagine that thing was bright.
And it worked from 1964 until 2018. So they built them right back in the day. Well, they knew what it was for, so they I don't know. It doesn't say they never changed the light bulb. It just says the beacon itself.
Yeah, forget Teslas. The lifted trucks are the ones that blind you. Yeah, if the people that lifted trucks would adjust their headlights so that most of them have a good cutoff, but their cutoff's hitting because the front's up so high, they're hitting the overpasses like half mile in front of you.
Yeah.
If I'm in my van, they're blinding me, and my van sits up
Those
real high.
guys with the lifted trucks don't give a flying nothing
Yeah, they don't care.
about nobody
Yeah, I
a
got
lot of the time. There are people there not all guys in big trucks don't know how to adjust their headlights. I'm just saying that if it's a guy in a big truck, chances are you got to be concerned that their headlights might not be adjusted. It's like that. It is like that. That's just it's like that. Uh
the oh yeah, carbon arc. I forgot about those. That's a
Law
little
Burns, no, we are not
surface.
allowed to show an historical masthead from a sailing ship. We can't
Oh,
because it
oh
might be misconstrued as something that it's not. Did Law Burns send that? You
no,
said it was Dean Stevenson.
Dean's. Oh, let me see. Let
I
me
think it was
see.
Law Burns
Let me
because he
let me
said he sent a
let me
picture
go
of his
back.
girlfriend. It made more
Let me
sense.
go back and try to
Imagine the
pick.
heat that comes off the light. I'll bet it gets really hot. You don't want to
Okay,
touch it.
there's that one.
Oh, a carbon arc lamp. I wonder how much electricity it takes to make that sucker light up.
Oh yeah,
Mexicans,
it is. It was Lot Burns Senate. I'm
I
sorry.
hate
It
qualifications.
was Lot Burns that sent it. It was not Dean Stevenson. I just assumed it was Dean Stevenson because he would have sent something. What is this?
The Carolina squatted trucks suck. I think they outlawed them. They made some kind of law that the front of your truck and the back of your truck are not allowed to be too far off, but only in Carolina. So other places you're still allowed to have that, but who would want that? That's a neat truck, but the rear tires are a bit much. I mean, I think that's the vibe they were going for, was the big rear tires. I think it's neat. I don't know what I would do with it. Like, it would be a cool yard ornament or something to take to a local car show to show off or something like that. It would be a fun project. I would like making one maybe, but like, I don't know. I'm starting to get
Okay,
where like I don't know what to do with any of these cars I've got.
Ronward sent this in. I can see what it is. It's a Plymouth Arrow, or at least Plymouth Arrow body parts somewhere, or made to look like one, but the rest of it. And he says it's a. Let's see.
That's a big motor.
He said local car here in Topeka back in the 80s and 90s, blown 426 Hemi, 4-speed, narrow Dana 60. Personalized license plate red, suicide. Yeah, can you imagine that? Looks kind of like a Plymouth Arrow, but it's probably a body made to look like it. I had a Plymouth Arrow for a while in Hawaii, and it was a rental. I drove it around for quite a while. It was a nice car. I liked it. It was perfect. It was late 70s, so it was a brand new car then. And yeah, it's late 70s Mitsubishi technology, but it drove around fine. This is a whole different technology with the same look.
38 Racing, I put a 318 engine in the bed of my truck and then put my trailer with a 300ZX on the back of it, and it was squatting pretty good. So I maybe, but no, they do that on purpose. They jack the front way up, so the relationship between the two is dumb. So
Are you paying? You're paying attention to this, I guess.
to what now?
Sayers here. There was an all steel body. That car was owned and driven by Randy Renier. Randy Renier here in Topeka. Thank God the Carolina squat thing never made it to Michigan, but these 25 and under bucks are going light, probably like crazy on their lifted trucks. Lights behind wheels on the running board. Yeah, same thing here. It's like everywhere.
I
It's
mean,
like all this lights around their wheels that spin and
it's a
everything.
low effort modification. You don't have to be very bright to add lighting.
I
And
like
so they
lights
do it.
sometimes. I like lights sometimes,
I kind of like a little bit
but
of
I don't
underglow.
really want.
I don't think you're
I don't
supposed
really
to
want my.
drive around with underglow on
I
you.
don't. It depends on the state you're in. I don't really like my brake rotors to be lit up. You know. Uh,
Blue Grit asks if it's at least a Mopar engine in it.
it
Yeah, you
is
can't really tell.
426 Hemi is what he said.
Oh, no way. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a hell of a build. Who has money for that?
Well, look at the tires and
Man.
the rear. I read the whole thing, but let me
What is
read
that?
it
Like,
again. Let me read it again.
I'm sorry.
Um,
They heard. I just
okay,
didn't
it
hear because I
was
was reading chat while you're reading, so I can't do
says
both.
local car in Topeka back in the 80s and 90s. Blown 426 Hemi, 4-speed, narrow Dana 60. So that's a drag race car. You know, it's something that's going to go fast. We've got lifted trucks, squatted trucks with wire wheels that stick out 3 feet. Yeah, that I don't like that. So you almost they come over the yellow line. You got to move over for them because their wheels are sticking out so far. I think some of those are beyond the 8 foot, 8.5 foot mark. People need more light bars on their cars. Zip in with drywall screws. Let's see. I had to give the shop crap today for trying to make the wrong muffler fit restored. 78 Honda Civic. I don't know what's going on with you in Mexican spec. Let's see. In the 80s, there were some more to
I
be
asked
had.
how people could afford all that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
A blower and a 426 Hemi?
Well, it's somebody that put their life's effort into drag racing, you know.
Definitely. That was
Pro Street. Yeah, Pro Street. That never made sense to me. Because a professional is somebody makes money in their job, you know. So Pro Street is like you make money driving on the street. I built a lot of radiators for Pro Street cars, and it was the whole idea of a Pro Street car. I thought was kind of funny. I gotta.
Yeah, I understand. People spend a lot of money on their cars, but where did they get the money? Where did it come from? They had money. They had money
Yeah,
before they started trying to race.
Ron Ward's in here. That uh, that arrow? What kind of times did it turn? Be kind of interesting.
Could be all show and no go.
Oh, but that could be a lot
Whoa.
of go too.
I mean, a couple pounds of boost on a 426 Hemi, I don't think it's gonna really go. If it hooks, it's gonna go.
Yeah, they can hook it up. Yeah, or
In a quarter mile though,
lift
15-second quarter mile, I've seen a
15
I've seen a
seconds slow.
I've seen a Dodge Dart with a slant 6
Go 15.
go 15s. And not even a really built like a high compression slant 6, but not like a really built because I've seen really built slant 6 in an Arrow go in like the nines. In the nines. Who was that? I'll have to look it up. I was on slant6.org today, perusing. I used to have a bunch of friends there, and yeah, I remember somebody a Plymouth Arrow. I should look at names so I know names. I used to do some editing for the Slant Six Racing News. That was cool.
That arrow was quick on the street, but never saw it on the track. I did see it beat several 9-second cars on the street. Yeah, that he's driving out on the street. Oh my god, that's like if the police see that, eyes are gonna go straight to it. His arrows were so light, unfortunately, that made them rust away fast back then. Back home, yeah, if you were up there, I think everything rusted away. Useless. I see it put down. You can read this too, Kim. You're pretty good at reading this stuff. Like Iceman saying something.
What
You
do you want
wait?
me to read?
Iceman.
Oh,
Yeah, can
unless
you
I
go
see
back
it
to
put down the numbers, it's a dud. So many guys slapped them all together, not to race, just to cruise. That's why I wonder if it's given to a 15, Kim. That's the thing. Is like the older it was, the faster it used to be. No one can prove that it didn't go nines, right? But you can't prove that it did. Even if you have the receipts, they could be faked. So, I don't know. It looks really cool. I mean, is it wrong for it to do 15s and just look that badass? I mean, not in a picture. I don't know what to say. Slant6.org is a thing. It has been around for a very long time. Um, it is no, it is not well maintained, but it does have some really smart people who have very specific knowledge of the Slant 6. There are tech articles that are specifically about the Slant 6, and it's not as active as maybe it once used to be. People have a lot of things, but they list annual events and other Slant 6 related stuff. And then at No Name Nationals, I met a guy from, what was it, A Bodies Only.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not Slant 6 specific, but if
Yep.
you're into A Bodies and you don't care nothing about Slant 6s, like, I don't know, like, you're not really paying
I
attention
belong
because
to I belong to Bodies Only.
most A Bodies started with Slant 6s, most being, the largest volume of them came off the factory with Slant 6s. So there's several sites and now there used to be a slant6.com, but that is defunct now. So slant6.org has been around since at least the late 2000s, and it is a wealth of knowledge, and a good contact point for people who are knowledgeable. I remember Doug Dutra, the inventor of the Dutra duels. He would be on the forums there sometimes, and a whole bunch of other people. I don't want to start naming names because I will inevitably forget somebody who's very important and then feel like a schmuck.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
if you wanted, you couldn't find an arrow for sale today.
Man,
You
I've
could
looked.
find one now and
I've
then.
looked.
You
I've looked.
can sometimes. You
And
see them.
if
But
you
they're
see,
very ratty and people want a lot of money for
they're
them because of
extremely
what they
ratty.
are. Because of what they are. And a lot of times they don't have a title and they've already been gutted for racing.
That's something I'm seeing when I'm looking for older cars, and I see quite a few of them that say like no title. I'm thinking, or lost title. What did they do? They didn't pay for the car and hid it somewhere.
Or they just got the car off a piece of property or out of a barn and they never had a title and they couldn't get it. The other thing is I
And I
think,
know some states don't have titles after a certain age. I know
right,
that.
and
But then you're gonna have that struggle.
some states will junk the title if you don't keep the registration active. I'm not familiar with that specifically, but I've heard of that, and I think that sometimes cars, they get lost and then you can't get a replacement one because the person is dead or gone, you know or it's too expensive. The person wants to just unload it.
Oh, Mexico's no buff. You should think title loan. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's a real
Oh
strong
yeah, that's a
possibility.
stolen car though. At that point, if the person has a title loan and you purchase it without title, then it is a stolen
Well, you
vehicle.
got to go
So
chase it down, figure out what happened, and pay the guy's loan off.
yeah, which it's never worth it, or else they would have paid it off and made money off the car.
Yep,
So
that's how I am now. If I don't see it, if there's no title, as soon as I get to that in the ad, it says something like no title, I check it off to something else. Why look at it? I want a car I can drive and do everything legal, so I'm not in trouble.
Lister LeSabre says Jamie at Dead Dodge Garage has had to make lots of modifications to fit the turbo on the slant. Yes, you would have to make lots of modifications because there was never a factory slant with a turbo on it in the whole life of the Slant 6. So it's all custom. It's all custom. You have to decide how you want it to be and make it that way, which is custom fabrication, which we've looked into doing. We've considered doing. We have a bunch of the parts, but there's still a ton of fabrication, and we've gone on to other things because one of the big people came out with a car like that. They did a big budget build with a turbo slant 6 right when we were talking about doing, and it was like, well, our content won't be nearly as interesting as somebody who has
Oh yeah, it was one of those like
Yeah, they
they
had a
bought everything new. It was expensive, and
yeah, and they had a TV crew filming it and professional editing and a big channel in the first place. And it was like, well, let's just do the things that we're doing. And so we have. But, turbocharging a slant six is an interesting concept because they have a very stout bottom end, especially the early slant sixes with a steel crank. They have a very long stroke, very low compression, and very small valves. So forced induction has the potential to wake that motor up huge, huge, and it can handle the power 300 and plus horsepower, which is 3 times the amount of power they put out from the start, is very interesting. But it's all custom fabrication to get there, and there's a lot of technical knowledge to not just blow it up immediately upon starting it. So I don't know. It's a cool thing. Maybe someday. I don't know. We have
most of the other part says
aluminum car.
the Arrow is only 4 years old when Randy built it. Imagine having a rust-free car to start with. Yeah, 4 years old. Man, that Arrow that I had was basically brand new. It was like within a year old. It was a rental car, you know. It was a perfect new car.
There's
That
cars
was
here
in
in
a
Tennessee that are like 20 years old that are almost virtually rust free. It's insane. When I was a kid, you couldn't get a car that was 10 years old that wasn't rusted through.
yeah, Plymouth made a Arrow pickup too. Yeah, and that was another Mitsubishi
An
car.
Arrow pickup?
Yeah, it was a Dodge D50 that
Oh,
said Plymouth
oh, oh, the
said
D50.
it
Yeah,
said
people
Plymouth,
race those too because they
but
weigh nothing.
but
And they have a
they
frame.
they had a version of it sold through the Plymouth dealers that said Plymouth Arrow on it. And then, it was a Mitsubishi. Tennessee, it's fairly easy to get a classic car title. Yeah, if it was something really old, I might try to deal with that. But, when I'm looking at a car that's maybe between 15, 30 years old, maybe 40 years old, that's something, something strange happened with the title. That's like a car that somebody hid away because they, like Mexican Spec said, they took a loan out on it and didn't pay it off.
It's common. And I've seen old, like cars from the 70s getting repossessed. Have you seen that?
I was reading. What'd you say?
I saw a guy with a Ford pickup, like a 78 Ford pickup that he bought from like a buy here pay here and didn't pay the title loan and it
Yeah.
was getting repossessed. So just because it's old doesn't mean it's not encumbered by some kind of thing, you know.
Don't tell Jamie, but I no interest in seeing a Turbo Slant 6.
There are people who are
I've
interested
got it.
though.
I've got it. The whole thing for mine on the Valiant, and I may do it. Um,
I just can't believe how much Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage does. Every week he's doing more stuff. There's several
where's he
guys like
get
that.
all the cars?
He gets a lot of cars and he does a lot
Man,
of projects. But there's other
take me a
guys.
year to afford one of those
But
cars.
like Junkyard Digs, he hired a guy. He has Angus there, and
Yeah,
so he
Junkyard
can
Digs has
move.
got a huge channel.
He's got a shop, and every week he does something new, and like that. Doing something new every week can be a lot of. But doing a new Dodge project every week, like where do you find all these old Dodges that you can fix in one week? It's pretty crazy.
You're gonna do a '56 Chevy wagon, no rust. Have you ever exported anything to Canada? I just wondering how hard that is, because what's their names in Canada? The '56 Chevy,
Didi Speed Shop?
Didi Speed Shop.
Oh,
Yeah, he might be interested in that.
he probably has enough stuff
Yeah, but
closer to him.
everything he has is
He
not
does.
rust
I mean, his
free.
whole channel is just replacing the entire floorboards on a bunch of Tri-5 Chevys.
That Mitsubishi 2.6 from the Arrow and D50 was a stout engine for its time. Man, wasn't there another engine too? I helped a guy with a 2.6 and an Arrow put it all back together because he took it apart and he's struggling with it. And I helped him get the timing chain and everything lined up. But what was the other engine they put? I thought there was another engine, a smaller engine. I sent you a pic of our. Okay, I got to go back to my email again. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to pay
Mostly old
attention.
parts.
Oh,
Parts
and John
says the
Cope.
2.6 from the Arrow was a stout engine for its time. Yeah, but people saw the size and they were just rip them
And
out.
John Cope must be in here because oh geez. Yeah, he sent something cool. Okay, so I'm gonna start putting up.
John Cope, welcome to the stream.
Oh, he's already sending us stuff, so he's lurking back in there. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Okay, this one. Where'd it go?
Dougster says my friend's kid brother kicked a piston out of his D50. We taught him how to power shift. Big mistake. It ran on 3 cylinders and he drove it home 15 miles after barfing it. Major oil stripe the whole way. I'll bet. There was a stripe until there wasn't. Um, I would never sell anything to DD Speed Shop. Oh, that's because he modifies stuff, and Mexican Spec does not like modified cars. He puts LSs and stuff.
Yeah, but he makes 2 doors out of 4 doors, which is he does a pretty good job.
I got spoiled down here in Texas after growing up in Ohio. When the 1988 GM trucks came out, they were starting to rust sitting on the dealer lots. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you drive up the lot and it leaves there's like a footprint where it's dropped the first layer of rust.
Let me see. I got to get all this straight so when I put it up, I can tell the right story.
Okay.
Okay.
He's about to put up some pictures, people. We're
This
trying to
one
keep
is-
up with chat. I'm sorry if we're doing badly tonight.
This is a tiny picture.
It is.
Oh,
Keep
it's
going.
Ron Ward sent it in. I'm amazed that has any isn't all fuzzy yet. Ron Ward sent that in. That's a 62 Valiant.
That's cool.
And
What's the story on that one?
then,
He didn't say.
I'm trying to read, listen, read here, remember this.
The chat slowed down so they can
So I'm
look at
trying
the
to get
pictures.
this. Ron Ward said from back in '96, this was our 62 Valiant Signet 200, originally equipped with an aluminum slant 6. I
Oh,
plopped a 360 out of 77 Plymouth van into it with 727 8 3/4 356 gears.
nice.
So that was one of the old aluminum slant 6s.
I mean, the aluminum slant sixes were very
This is-
unique, but they weren't necessarily desirable.
Now the next one is from
There were
John
some real
Cope,
big pitfalls. Ooh, John,
but he doesn't tell any story behind it. He just sent the
get you
picture.
some. Get you some. Wow, I need those front wheels. They would match my car.
That's right. Dan doesn't like the 56s as much as he does the 55s and 7s, which I don't understand why. I'm not really a big Tri-5 fan. I mean, they're nice cars, but I don't really enjoy sitting in them and driving them. I don't like the seating position. What I see, it's like, they're okay, I guess. I like the way more like the 55, 6, and 7 and 8 Fords. Actually, 57 and 8 Fords are similar. 55 and 6 Fords are similar. And the Plymouths, 55 and 56 Plymouths, 55 especially. I like sitting in those and what I don't know, seating position, looking over the hood. Let's see here. So John Cope sent this. Don't know. What's it say on the windshield? Cope Racing something.
It says Pro 727.
Some
Oh,
person-
is that a 1028 dial in on it?
Sure looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 63. Yeah, 63.
Most of the old parts says you gotta love Photoshop. You can hardly see the jack stands. Yep. Yep. Rich asked how I'm doing. Welcome to the stream, Rich. I talked about it earlier. I'm doing okay. My body is not happy, but I'm not like I'm here, you know. I'm hopeful that in a couple. They told me it'll be a couple days before I start to feel improvement, or whatever improvement I'm going to feel. It will take a couple days for me to notice. So I'm hopeful. Yesterday was really uncomfortable. Today is getting better. So that's
Getting a lot of emails, so
Yep.
I know I'm behind on the emails a little bit, but I'll get
Cope
there.
says that's a 63. Mexican Spec
Oh.
says they have solid Toyota pickups here, lots of them. Yeah, they're cool. They weren't really made for the rust belt though. When you got the salt in them, they just it just ate holes in the corners real fast. Go ahead.
That's Lopburn sent this in.
What is it?
Um, well, it's a rotorcraft. Let me see what he says. Uh, Life is an adventure. Okay, you can show this. Life is an adventure. I know Lot Burns is around a lot of helicopters and helicopter guys, and so he sent this in.
Cool.
What does it say on it? I don't know if the resolution's good enough. Now it's gonna be you're not gonna be able to read that. But see this right here? It's really hard to move my see this blade right here. There's another blade down here. That's for cutting cables. If you hit like a wire, it's not too big. It'll cut it off so it doesn't get caught in a rotor.
Oh, wow.
And that may save you.
It's got
May
s-
not.
it's got
Air,
cable shears mounted
air,
to the front of it.
airport tug. One of my favorite obscure vehicles. God, we had tugs in the Air Force had slant sixes in them.
Oh
Which
yeah, they did.
that was in 1973 and 74. I was working in a shop. We had a tug, and for some reason we opened the hood on it because we didn't service it. It went somewhere else to get serviced. We opened it up, and there was a slant six in it. Oh, look at that! Just like a car. Okay, there's more. Let me see what else came. This is from Mexican Spec. I gotta pull it up. Oh, here we go. This is this thing.
Okay, I'm gonna talk. Rich said sorry he's late. It's fine. Nobody's late. We get here when we get here, and hopefully you can stay a while. But it's just we're here like 3 nights a week. Come when you can. Community time when you're available.
Mexican Spec sent that in. I think that's when he says he's gonna post.
That kicks butt. What's up with the front fender? Does it look like there's like a
Something up there's been.
wrap on the front of the car or something?
It looks like they did the two-tone up to the middle of the wheel well. I'm not sure. Cable cutters go on snow sleds for fencing.
Oh man, I got a story about sledding I don't want to tell.
Don't tell it.
Um,
I know people got caught in I got caught in a fence. Luckily, the Mazda kept the fence on the outside.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, we saw that. Mostly Old Parts says the Toyota 20R and 22R were indestructible, especially with the manual transmission. I had a Toyota Corolla with a 22R. I think it was a 1984 or 3, and they are not indestructible because I got it from a young woman. It was a 5-speed. It was not indestructible because I don't think they put oil in it. I don't know what happened, but when I took the oil pan off of it, it was like full this much with like stuff, and it wasn't long before it was knocking a whole lot, so I think it destructed. That was a long time ago. Long time ago. Anyways, they're not entirely indestructible. You still need to put oil in them.
Okay, let's see here. Where are you going to get an unmolested 56 wagon body? Probably from you. Has an inline 6 under the hood. Yeah, it looks like pretty much original thing.
That's freaking amazing.
Except for the wheels and the. Yeah, of course that's not original paint, but yeah, if the body's all just original with no rust, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Looks like the windows are all intact as well.
I wouldn't even want to own that. It's too nice.
You know.
Everything we own is junk.
Let's see here. I wanted to go back and get that something else too. Oh, Lot Burns said that helicopter it belongs to the governor of New York, or it's the one he flies in. In progress on the car insurance. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them. The ball's
it's in the works.
The ball's in their court now. Sometimes it's in my court. Sometimes it's in their court, and it's in their court, and I'm expecting.
In the U.S., it was a holiday Monday, so this is first business day since it ought to be It ought to be before the end of the week. He should get a settlement out of it. So we'll see how that goes.
Couldn't get a V8 one of those in Mexico, huh? Because see, that was only the second year for the small block. If you can believe that, man. Can you imagine only 2 years into the small block? Had no idea that engine was going to last for so long.
This Easy says most of the 8 to 15-ton rollers I ran used GM6s. Yeah, but a roller has like ultra low gear ratio, I think.
Where's this?
Or where they hydraulic motor.
Oh,
Did it run a hydraulic pump to run the roller? I don't think that's direct drive.
so yeah, I dig the 55, 56 Chevys. To me, 57s are just too gaudy. I like the dash on the 57 a whole lot better, but yeah, I just saw a car that was for sale, and it's some kind of crazy looking custom car. The guy said it was a 54 Chevy, and as soon as he showed the interior, I knew it was a 55 dash. It's like you couldn't tell it was a 55, and I guess he thought it was a 54, or they hacked a 55 dashboard into it. I don't know.
Mexican Spec asks, they aren't giving you a rental car.
They did. They
They
did.
offered
Here's
a
the
rental
deal.
car, but
Here's the
okay,
deal.
go ahead. You can tell.
I, it was screwed up at first, but finally, they offered me a rental car. But then you go to the rental agency, there are no cars. And come back tomorrow. They sent me to another location. They said come back on 2 days. Well, I ended up going back. It was 6 days before they had car. Well, then I got there and they wanted $30 a day for insurance for 10 days.
And we have a car.
So wait a minute, Kim.
Go ahead.
So $30 a day for 10 days, that's $300. I got to pay for insurance out of my pocket. It's like, you know what? I'll bum rides off Kim, or I'll just drive the Jeep or something. We'll just share the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish they would have really provided one, but every time they provided one, there were snags. So I didn't get a car. I still don't have a car. And I'm to the point where tomorrow I'm going to be making another phone call and going, hey, you know, I've been all this time without a car. You know, are you waiting on me or am I waiting on you? You know, so they made me an offer. I'm fine with the offer. Let's just make it happen. You know, I'll tell you what the current thing is they're supposed to send me a label, a FedEx label, to send my title in, sign my title and send it in. They keep telling me they're sending this label, no label. So I don't know what the problem is, but I don't get the label. So tomorrow they're going to hear from me again. You know, I want to go buy a car. There's a couple of cars I've seen that I really want, and one of them I'll buy, but can't do it till I get the payment. You know.
Okay.
I know you're going tonight. Your anesthetic wore off because you've been sitting there like, oh.
Am I talking too much?
No, you're just like, man. All of a sudden you came alive. You've been really groggy for 24 hours.
Yeah. Okay, so this car is for sale. It is in Mexico. And our friend and moderator, Mexican Spec, can facilitate you to, if you want to purchase this car or have more information about it, you can contact Mexican Spec. He is on YouTube. He is on Instagram? Instagram. So you can contact Mexican Spec on Instagram or on YouTube to find out more about this car if you want to buy it. And if you just like looking at really cool Mexican Spec cars, you know,
he's got so many cars.
He lists them all the
brokers.
time, and it's really interesting. And I don't know, maybe one of your friends or neighbors is looking for a classic vehicle, and when they come from Mexico, a lot of times they're well refurbished, right? So they're not, they know they're valuable cars in the United States. So they fix them up real nice so they can sell them. And Mexican Spec will help you buy them, get you some pictures, hopefully facilitate the sale in any way he can. So that's a thing. Help him out if you can, to do his business so he can be successful with it. And we are not sponsored, but he looks out for us in the chat as a moderator and is moderator on several channels that we are. He's out there all the time. I can't.
If you go on any car channel, you're gonna see
He's a
Mexican Spec in there.
every channel, everywhere, all the time. He must have 10 screens up. Okay.
Okay, Mexican Spec said, so the insurance company said they'd pay for the rental, but not the insurance on the car. They'll pay for the liability insurance. So if I crash into something with the rental car, somebody else's car is covered, but I got to pay for the rental that I smashed up.
Yeah.
So They won't pay the collision and the comprehensive. I have to pay that. It's optional. Well, I'm paying $300 for 10 days, and now we're past the 10 days, so I don't have the car anyway. I wouldn't have the car
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, I'm tired of waiting.
And we went on one car trip in 10 days. And we took the Jeep and it worked out fine.
Yeah,
So we're okay.
we did. The Jeep was fine. So I took took Kim to man, way down south of Nashville yesterday, and had the surgery down there and came back up, and the traffic, oh my God, the traffic. It was a parking lot coming home, and there are usually some sections like that, but it was horrible. We just sit still for 40 minutes, and when it finally dissipated, I, I couldn't figure out what happened. Got up there and it just started flowing. So I don't know what the problem was. Whatever it was, they'd cleared it up by the time we got up there. Cultured Redneck Garage. Was headed down I-24 the other day, and I think I spotted the infamous Buff crash site. It was a spot you were within a mile or two of my house. Really? I'll tell you where it was. It's about 2 miles south of Paducah on I-24.
Oh,
And
there's
if I
multiple Paducah exits though.
I said about 2 miles south of Paducah. So if you get to whatever that city limit line is, it's about 2 miles south of there, which might be the last exit. I don't know. In the police report, there's an approximate mile marker. I don't remember what it was. I'd have to go look at the report again.
John Wilbur's.
I see John Wilburn's on the probably see the eyeballs. I know. I was trying to get out what I was saying. Off the wall question. What's your favorite microwave popcorn? And I can't eat popcorn. I used to.
I have an allergy to soybean oil, and usually for the flavoring, they use margarine, which is generally soybean oil. So I usually just have to microwave regular popcorn with butter in a bag. That's probably not the most interesting answer. Yeah, or corn on the stove.
That's what my father used to do. Same thing. Exactly the same thing she does.
I like it a little scorched too. So, have you ever seen those metal tins that have the pop-up tops?
Jiffy Pop.
The only problem is it's margarine. But I remember the Jiffy Pop was good because all of the popcorn was a little brown and scorched, and that was kind of cool. But I don't
I'm
need a
trying to
lot of
remember.
microwave popcorn.
There was some kind of joke, and I don't remember the joke, but it's a place I was in that was Navy, and it was a squadron with people, flying squadron. And they had one of those old Jiffy Pop things hanging on the wall. And there was a joke about it. I don't remember what the joke was, but it was hanging there for years. Jiffy Pop, yeah. I remember those things. They just blow up into a big old mushroom of aluminum foil, and then you open it up. Those were really good when I was a kid. Those things been around for a long time. They still have them. That whole area of those exits have pretty bad as of late. What else have I missed here? So never knew any of this allergic to soybean. You got to see Kim and me try to eat. It's like I can't have this, I can't have that, I can't have that, and then she's like, I can't have that, and you try to find a common denominator. It's like almost impossible.
I get
But there are a few things the two of us can eat, but usually we end up eating separately. It just
sore throat.
we kind of live lives together separately. It's like, yeah, it's okay.
We eat a lot of meals together.
What do we eat?
Swollen adenoids. I'll get hives, intestinal discomfort. Yeah, and that's the like I every day I have to avoid it. It's not just like oh one time. Like it's around all the time, so I have to be
What's
very
this?
careful about what
I'm
I pick to eat.
I'm gonna get up for a second and go get some seasoning and bring it in because
Oh, we have Tony's.
mostly old parts. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he can't eat a lot of Tony's because for some reason it hits him in the throat just wrong and he'll cough and cough and cough. I love it. I love it. So I'll put it on my stuff. But I like to cook it in the food, but he still gets the cough. So I got to put it on after when he's not looking. Just put it on my food. I'll put it on my popcorn too. It's a good. I like a little bit of Creole season. It's the green, yellow and green one. He found it. Jiffy Pop is a burned finger waiting to happen. You better believe it. Iceman can't stand popcorn. It's the crappiest of all snacks. It's crunchy and you put some salt on it. It's good.
So this is what he's talking about. Oops, wrong way.
Yeah,
Right?
that's good stuff. I like that stuff.
Yeah, it'll get me coughing if I get a little bit in my throat. And then there's this stuff that a friend of mine brought back from.
Dunn's specialty meat seasoning.
This
See, the
is
reason I don't
Cajun.
like
That's
this,
Cajun too. And I don't know. They're all okay. I mean, I like the flavors, but if I'm gonna cough and cough and cough, it's like okay, I'm done with that.
I don't like this because it's got sugar
Oh,
and it's got, although it doesn't have very much, I guess, but it also has MSG. I don't like to feed us too much MSG because the problem is it makes you want to eat and eat and eat and eat.
well, this says it has sugar, but it also has zero carbohydrates. It can't
Yeah.
be too damn much sugar. Oh, it says sugar, 0 grams.
They're lying.
How can it have sugar with no sugar?
Per serving, and a serving is only a quarter of a teaspoon.
So whatever it is, it's under the threshold that they have to uh, list it for a quarter teaspoon, but for the whole thing,
Oh, mostly up with Tony's More Spice. I've never tried that. I might because I like the Tony's stuff. I think it's a good quality product.
right here.
And you can get the big can at Walmart and it's not that expensive. I think it's a really good all-purpose kind of seasoning.
The fifth ingredient is sugar, and then up here it says sugar, 0 grams.
I don't know how they make that happen. That seems illegal to me. There's your cooking advice. That's been our cooking tip for this evening.
Oh, I did a short it was cooking.
Frank's
Oh.
Red Hot. Yeah. I don't like the ghost pepper stuff too much. What was the other stuff that I don't? I do kind of like some Red Hot sometimes. I don't know. Eggs. It's good on eggs.
What is this?
Cinnamon and sugar
There
on
we go.
popcorn. I can't remember ever doing that. I like cinnamon sugar on toast, though. How close is that?
Look at that giant couch. Oh no, those are small cars. Tony. Right. Let me see here. Let me get this right. I got wrong names. Wrong names. Let's get the right
Old
names.
Bay's okay. Old Bay's for like seafood, isn't
Buddy Carafano sent this in. This picture. Kim.
What?
Buddy Carafano sent this picture in.
Oh, this picture. I thought you were going to change to that picture.
No.
Buddy.
He says when you
That's a
can't
nice
afford
collection.
He says when you can't afford the real thing. Yeah, I built a lot of model cars over the years. But I haven't
I don't
done
even.
them.
Are they models or are they
Those are-
like the scale ones that you just buy the?
You know what those look like? They look like the dealer. What do they call those dealer cars that you get at the dealer?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what they are. Maybe he can explain exactly what they are.
You put Old Bay on your burgers.
Old Bay. See, that was a big deal when I was in Maryland. Buick's on a couch. So relaxing. Don't sit on the Buicks on the couch. Oh.
Yeah, I think Tony's probably is primarily salt. Aren't they all? I usually buy stuff that is low salt, and then when I'm using seasoning, salt, red pepper, black pepper, chili pepper. Yeah, it's just a mix of seasonings.
Yeah, promo
It's
cards.
still
That's
good.
what I thought they were. Promo
Promo
cards. But
cards.
I'm not sure. Somebody says
That's
they bought them.
probably an expensive thing to collect is promo cars.
Yep. Yeah, it could be what they are.
No, he said he bought them as they're probably those
Well,
I know what they are, but
yeah. So they're not promo cars, or maybe he bought them that somebody else already got the promo cars, but I don't think those are promo cars because they have because of the paint schemes on them.
Kay Nelson says hot popcorn on vanilla ice cream is the bomb. It's hungry hour. Everybody's hungry.
You
We've
tell
been
her to
streaming
put
for an hour
anything
and a
on.
half.
She
and
eats ice cream like there's no tomorrow, and I'm not allowed to touch
I
the
eat a
stuff.
little bit of ice cream every day.
Well, and when I was younger, I ate way too much sugar, and that was part of the problem was ice cream. So, yeah.
Olive, I agree. As winter comes in, we should be willing to send in pics of models and of Hot Wheels. Models or model cars? Because
Probably model cars.
models
Has
too.
anyone
As long
had
as they're
the?
not topless. We can't do topless models.
Oh,
They
you
have to be
already
wearing
got one of
clothes.
those. Already got
Yeah, right.
one. It was a what do you call a thing on the front of a ship? But it was a mermaid. Lockburn sent it. Anyway, has anyone had the Utz crab chips? It's crab boil season on tater chips.
It's different and it's good. That does sound good, Dougster. Without the fishiness. Olive, we've looked at the carb smart ice creams, and there's
It's
so much carbs for
still too
still
much.
such a very small serving that he would just rather eat something different.
Yep, it's just
because he can't keep his serving down that small and be satisfied. It's just like
me with like a
tease.
I can eat like a quarter teaspoon of it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's like now I want the rest of it.
Like a half a cup serving is like half of his carbs for the day or more, and that's like.
I had a promotional T-bird with a Philco radio in it. Man, does that sound like something that you'd see like in the '60s or maybe in the '70s?
I'm gonna use
you got to get up
the restroom briefly, guys. I'll be
Okay.
back. Stay out of trouble.
Crash's Roadrunner Garage. Hello. Hey guys, can't stay. Just popped in to hit the like button. Hey, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you for being
Good
here,
deal.
Crash's Roadrunner Garage.
Kim, can you make him ice cream
We
at home?
appreciate
You know, here's the deal. Even like glass of milk, I can drink like a shot glass of milk to try it once in a while, but it's got so much, it's just, can't do it. And you know what? There's things I've learned that I really like that don't have carbs and or don't have many carbs. Like I'll chop up a bunch of lettuce and tomato. Yeah, lettuce has a little carb and so does a tomato, but very, very little. And then there's dressing that has no carbs, and I use that. It's really good, you know? And so and then I'll sprinkle a little cheese on it. And that's fine. I can eat all that. I'll make a whole meal of that, you know. If you're leaving,
Cooking corner with Buff and Kim. Yes, I can put the seasonings away.
Yeah, before I start sneezing from the
Mexican Spec says, "Can you make him ice cream at home?" He could make his own damn ice cream. If he wanted it, he would. And honestly, if he wanted it, I would make it. But he's kind of like, nah, I'll just eat something else. He's got some snacks that he does like, and I try and keep him in.
You're like an old married couple.
In some ways.
Okay, let's see.
We are domestically challenged.
When you get back, I've got a picture from Ron Ward. I don't know what he sent yet.
From Ron Ward?
Yeah, but when you get
I'm not back.
Oh, you're not back. Okay,
not yet. Well, I'm not back
I'll
yet.
show it when you get back.
I'm gonna grind some water while I'm
grinding water.
Grinding it.
The got one of those Keurig machines that uses little cups. Oh, she's got the little stainless steel cup she puts her own coffee in, so there's nothing to throw away. But that Keurig machine's kind of loud, and it makes this noise when it's pumping the water somehow. And I always said it sounds like she's grinding up her water. So she was joking. She goes, "I'm going to go grind up some water." My favorite hobby shop has 68 charger model that was a dealer promo. If you bought a new charger, your son and daughter could have one too. They want $400. And I remember 68 chargers when they were new. I remember the first one I saw it, big long overhang up front. It looked so cool, you know. I had one of those, but it was a 74 Vega in dark blue. Played with that a lot. Iceman's taking off. Well, thanks for stopping in and hanging out for a while. Have a good night. Oh, it's a model you assemble. Okay, did any of you build 1/25th scale model cars? You know, the normal, like AMT and MPC and Johan, and I don't remember all the names of the 125th scale cars, but I was really into that when I was early teens. And the toughest one I ever built had a lot of detail, and I really liked it when it was done. It was a Johan model. The doors open, hood open, everything. It was a Chrysler Turbine car, and I got one of the very first ones in 1965. The first the first version of it. There were other, I should say version. It was the first issue of it. There were other issues of that same model that had different boxes, but it was always the same model, and it was molded in that copper color that all those cars were. But yeah, I did one of those. That was a tough build. It had a lot of pieces and parts, but I spent my time and I did a good job on it. But most of the cars I built were either the brand names MPC or AMT. Okay, Mexican spec. Okay, the truth is I had three of them. One of them, I was 12 years old, got it, took it out of the plastic, put it all together. It was a tough build. I bought another one that I kept around for many, many years. And then I found another one on eBay one time. It was still in the box. And I kept that one. But you know what? They became worth more and more money. And there were times in my life when I didn't have a lot of money. So they got sold. And I made money on them, but they're gone. But yeah, I did build one. The first one I had, I built. I built that in probably like October of 1966. No, 1965. We just moved to South Dakota, and we went in some store, and they had like a little section of models. And I'd seen one of those cars, a Chrysler Turbine car, saw it in Nebraska, and it was in a shopping center. I'm like telling my dad, "Go drive over there, drive over there. There's like a Thunderbird over there. It's customized. I want to see it." I thought it was like a '64 Thunderbird somebody had customized. And he didn't want to drive over there. We were on the road. He wanted to get going, so he hit the road. I got a pretty good look at it, just from a little distance, but I wanted to get up real close and get out and look at it. So I always remembered what it was. And so when I was in that store and I saw the model, all of a sudden I recognized it right off. Oh, I know what this is. And that's when I found out it was a Chrysler Turbine car. So we'd been in South Dakota like maybe a month because we'd seen it on the way to South Dakota. So I bought it and built it. Then I had two others. You have kept them now. You could buy the Van Matador we had. Yeah, well, you can't always keep this stuff. Yeah, if you can find somebody to spend the money. I mean, there's asking price and then what people really get. I got a 69 Carousel red GTO that was die-cast body painted and striped. Super detailed interior. Had carpet shell and squishy soft seats. It was the nicest model I've ever assembled. Huh. David McNeil, how you doing? Man, I just saw your name pop up on something else. What was it? Oh, you got a new name. What do you call yourself? I try to remember what it was. They got another moth in here, Kim. Um,
Welcome to the stream, David.
I just saw him, and I thought he has an Instagram name, and I think it was Instagram, and I checked. Yeah, like a friend request or something. But you had a name in there that was so funny. I thought it was so cool, and that was today. So how are you doing, David? You still in Maryland? I would expect he's in Maryland. He and I worked together for several years in Maryland and in Arizona. Yeah, Throwbilly, that's it. I saw that and I go, it's perfect. Throwbilly.
You know what I've noticed tonight?
What's that?
We have not had the stream doesn't drop in the house. That's something that's been going on at the garage.
It's only at the garage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very stable here. We don't have
Very
any drop
stable.
frames or anything.
Nope.
No
It only happens up
glitching.
there, so it's something between here and there.
Well, the other thing is
Oh,
like,
it's a computer.
yeah, I think that
It's that
computer is
piece of
poopy.
crap computer.
Poopy. Well, it might be the internet connection between here and the garage too.
David McNeil, you didn't meet David McNeil because when you were there, he was no longer working there. He was working at another place.
Oh, okay.
So you missed him. But then I went up there again right after you were up there. Remember, I went up there again for something. Don't remember what it was. And I worked there for, I don't know, some short period of time. And David McNeil is the one. He and I went out and got Mexican food together. And I know you knew that I'd gone out with some guy who had Mexican food. And David McNeil sat there and he and I talked for hours. We had a good time. Had a good meal. Like, he's always a good guy to work with. And not a mechanic by trade,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the best mechanics I've ever met. Everything he touches, it's like you. He just fixes stuff. One of those guys.
I mean, comparing him to me is not necessarily a compliment.
No, you're the same thing. If you dive into something you want to fix it, something most people would just go, that's too complicated. You'll have it working. I think that's pretty good skill.
Mexican specs ask if we can put a signal booster on the Wi-Fi up to the garage. I don't really think it needs a signal booster because when it's working, it works great.
I think what's
It
happened
just
is
flakes out.
I think we have an old computer up there that needs to be replaced, and
Well, that's
we've got
definitely,
the
yeah,
it's overwhelmed with the software that's on it, and
maybe.
we need to. I mean,
It might be just that, or it might be multiple problems. I did not pay much for that Wi-Fi to send to the garage, and so it might just after a certain amount of time flake out, and then it comes back on its own. I don't know. I don't know. Or it might be when somebody drives by with a. I remember one time with Wi-Fi, right? I was installing Wi-Fi in this person's house because I was working for a computer company briefly, and I got it all set up. It was working great, and then all of a sudden it just froze. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like trying to figure out, and it's frozen. It's not working at all. And the lady's talking on the phone, and here the gigahertz of the phone matched the gigahertz of the Wi-Fi. And when she picked up the phone, it just broke the internet. So who knows? Who knows? Somebody with their airplane, model airplane flying by, a drone or their cell phone, or who knows what it is that's interrupting our. I can't tell you. I'll work on it.
JB says there's a lot of Thunderbird styling in the turbine. My mom got to drive one when she was in college. Well, that's cool. Yeah, there was a lot of Thunderbird styling in it because the same guy, I can't think of his name, he did some of the early Mercuries that had that kind of look, or maybe Lincolns that had that kind of look in the back, and the Thunderbirds and the Chrysler turbine car, same person. I can't think of his name. I should know it. I can't ever remember names. Detailed engines based on a real production engine, preferably a 426. Which one came out first, T-Bird or the turbine car? Better question might be which one were they working on first? The T-Bird might have taken clues. Same person. I can't think of his name right now. He did some of the Lincolns that had that kind of dipped in back look, and he did some Ford. What do they call them? Like show cars and
Concept cars.
concept cars. He did one or maybe two of the Thunderbirds, like the 64 and 5 Thunderbirds, and then he did the turbine car. They're all same person.
KJ Cali said the turbine car was styled by
Where?
Gia of Italy.
It was built by them. It was not designed by them. It was built by them.
Oh, okay. Clarification there.
Um,
Dougster asks if I was shopping at Gordy's Discount Wi-Fi Emporium. In fact, I was, Dougster. That was like $40 for the two. There's one here and one there that communicate for the Wi-Fi hop up to the garage. And yeah, it was only like $40, which I think is probably like a third the price of what something of real value would be. So that, there's a very good likelihood that I bought a piece of junk and then I'm getting intermittent. Um, but it's been mostly good. So, when we start making the big bucks here on YouTube, I mean the big bucks, like $100 a month or something like that, then I'll be able to upgrade it, you know? Until then, we suffer a little bit. A little bit. We're going to have to replace that computer before we start making the big bucks. That computer is like, because I can't carry this computer back and forth every week. It's like, ugh.
You have
What's up?
you have Google there, which I don't have
I
here.
absolutely do. What do we want to Google
Can you
today?
just look for go to Google Images? Can you
Okay.
move this? Because you know what I'll do. I'll spill
Yeah,
that.
don't spill my coffee. It's hot.
And Mexican Spec sent pictures. I've already downloaded them. I'm doing something else and I'll get them put up.
Okay.
And it's a car that he put up almost about an hour before we came on tonight, so I didn't have a chance to look at it.
Okay.
Mexican Spec, but we'll put them up on the screen here in a minute. Can you look up Chrysler turbine car?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm neglecting
1960,
my.
1963 Chrysler turbine car designer. I'm trying to think of that guy's name. Elwood Engel. Elwood Engel did the some Thunderbirds, some other Fords, did the Chrysler turbine car. He was the guy that penned that stuff. Oh, you're gonna bring up the whole thing.
That looks like a Dodge. 63 Dodge, the front circle headlights.
And it was it was built in Gia built the car. Where does it have it? Somewhere in there. Well, I just read it, and then you brought up another website. So.
Yeah, here it is. Italian design studio Corrizzera Gia constructed the bodywork, and Chrysler completed the final assembly in Detroit.
But we were looking for the designer's name, not
yes, you
for
did.
where it was constructed, and you had that pulled up, and then
I did.
and then you pulled up another website.
And Elwood Engel.
Elwood Engel, yeah. There you go.
The car was styled
and
by Elwood
Engel. Click that for a second. Elwood Engel. See what you come up with. Right there, just click. Okay, there.
I can't click on that screen. That's just viewing.
I see. I was wondering if it had. Chrysler.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Chrysler Corporation design chief from 61 to 74. Okay, then it was in the 50s. He was working for Ford, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that would end.
Oh, he worked for Chrysler, so he did take that design over to Chrysler, and that would have been it. 61. That would have been it. They went from the road toad to the round, the different, more different.
He always did this stuff where the taillights kind of dished in like that, and like the Thunderbirds where they had the wide taillights, and he had kind of a design theme he did, and I think that's why. When I first saw one, I thought it was a T-Bird. Okay, let's move on to Mexican Spec. I need my screen back. Kim? I need my screen back.
No, you've had it long enough. I don't want to look at another couch. You got something good?
Yeah, put the couch up. Okay, so now what we have is Mexican Spec sent this.
Whoa, race car backwards is race car.
Yeah,
I never thought about that.
It sure is.
No crap. Go ahead. Hey, that's a nice looking Ford.
There's a city in Southern California called Moore Park, and backwards it's crap room.
Okay.
Okay. So Mexican Spec. Your vehicle. There's more pictures of it.
Turbine bronze, Dougster says, was hand-formed sheet metal done by Gia.
Yeah.
Hand-formed?
Well, Gia did. I think they did everything over wood, bucks, and hammers. I mean, when you build 50 cars,
it's probably cheaper than making molds. Yeah.
I don't know how. They're handmade pieces and parts.
Dang.
Civic backwards is Civic. Oh, we're gonna have an English. What do you call those words?
I'm okay with that. Rather talk about it than half the things that we didn't talk about tonight.
So Mexican Spec. This is a 76 Ford B100 carryall with a 79 front end. I'm working a deal on it with a guy in Oregon. He owns a shop, customizes vehicles, which he will do with this. A hammer form. So okay, and that's got a 79 front end, which I think is a 78 and 9 front ends are really good looking. I think it's one of the best Ford uh, front ends. Um,
That's a pretty board, yeah.
so I'm trying to find the picture. Well, it's from this side, and my head's in the way.
You see some of those trucks around here sometimes. You
Yeah,
need me to
but
move your
never,
head?
no, there, but never a carryall. You know, look at this
Never a carryall. You're absolutely right.
in the back. It's a
Yeah, no,
carryall.
you
It's
see
not
some
a
of the
truck.
pickups,
Yep.
but not the carryall.
Yeah, and that one looks like it's pretty good. You
There you
know.
go. I'll just cut me out. There. It can be the buffed out Campo stream.
So you've just cut me out. Okay, the client said he would put the 79 front end. Anyway, new wheels and tires, which will help me drive it back. Oh man, are you able to? Yeah, palindromes. Are you able to drive around again, or they got this crazy conflict under control in Mexico, or I don't
There's
know.
a
I know you've
conflict.
been. I know you've been kind of hunkering down. Yeah. Can we move this again?
No.
Because I'm gonna spill it. I'm so afraid I'm gonna bump that over and spill it. Yeah, you know they have cartel issues.
I know nothing.
You know nothing. Okay. Now you can go back into the. Just move us over. Everybody can see the front of that truck. They've seen it,
Okay.
but you're not gonna move it,
Where do you want it to go?
so we can see you.
Oh no, I'm taking
You're
taking
taking
a
a.
few
You're
minutes
taking
off.
a. You're taking a few minutes off.
Uh-huh.
What do
You've
you?
been mean to me. You don't get me on screen because you were mean to me.
I wasn't mean to you. There's
Boss.
no problem where this truck is, but coming back passing Culiacan, they say they are putting things on the highway to pop your tires and assault you.
Oh God. That is not good news. Okay. I'll come back up. That's some serious stuff.
There's a
That's
lot of good stuff about Mexico till things like that start to happen.
I mean, that can happen anywhere, but wow. Ooh. That's bad news when it gets out of hand like that. So there's no military or guard that can come in and police that away. They just can't control it in Mexico. The cartels run things. So.
Pay no attention, lady off the screen. Yeah, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Well, what's going to
Not
happen is
almost.
I'm gonna make myself a control room, and then I'll be in a little box up on the other side, and you'll see him in one box and me on another box.
You'll be up there pulling the screens and making the smoking.
We'll have to wear headphones so we can communicate. No, we're not going to do that.
Oh, I forgot to put up another picture.
You said you were going to put up
gone.
pictures.
You were gone. So let me.
You're slacking.
I know I'm slacking. Ron Ward put this up. I hope he's still there, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot because Kim went away, and then I was going to put it up, and I forgot. This is. Let me see what he said. I can't find my cursor. There it is. The cursor.
That is a really nice looking carry-all Mexican spec. But I wasn't quite understood. You said it's already sold, or
When Gladys floor plan and torsion bar cross member left the check.
oh, I thought that was sheet metal laying in the floor pan, but that is the floor
That was floor.
through the. Wait, Gladys is which car is that? Whose car is that? And
Ron Ward.
That's Ron's. What is the model of car? Oh man.
Two-tone paint. He needs to make a comeback. You know how you do that? Buy two different colors of paint. Tape it off.
Dougster, you don't wait for things to make a comeback. You
make
bring them
it.
back.
Oh wow, we got a lot of pictures.
Like, if you like it, you bring it back. You say, "Oh, that's out of style." You say, "Well, I'm bringing it back." You know, if you like it, make it. If you do it well, and then other people will emulate you, and then you'll be like, "I did that first. I did that."
I've got a lot of.
That's how you be a trend setter, Dougster. You can do it. I believe in you.
Ray sent a bunch of pictures. I'm downloading them in there.
Yeah, right. Mexican spec, because you lose it in the color, I thought that was the back wall, but that's the other door.
What are you doing?
Nothing. It's okay. Me and Mexican Spec know what we're thinking. Our eyes were betraying us.
I'm over here busy, and you're pointing all over
Yeah.
talking about doors or something. I'm like, oh.
That's right, Dougster. Bring it back. Excuse the vintage car dust. Oh, we can't see it. Barn dust is essential. It actually adds to the value.
Wow. What year is this Mexican Spec? This is Ray's. It's for some reason, Kim, you've got this so the top's chopped off.
Well, you got to make the picture the
There.
right size.
That's I haven't done anything to the picture yet. Okay. So Ray sent these.
He's being really tough
They're-
on me tonight, guys. I don't know why. I just got.
Just needed you to move the picture over.
All right, I moved it. The
68.
flooring, I like that flooring. Now, is that an epoxy floor
That's
with that design? It almost looks like, and I don't want to like that floor with the epoxy design like that. How it has those like little like thing shapes. It almost looks like a towel, and like that
Imagine
is a
that.
fake model car.
That is
Almost. I mean, I know
that
that
is-
it's not that, but
It's either a 64 or 5 Thunderbird. I don't know which. Mexican Spec's talking about a 64, so
oh, Tim's here finally. Tim, we saw you here yesterday.
and then we showed.
Welcome to the stream.
Did I show the picture?
John, welcome to the stream. He
John's
has
here.
said nothing. Did you just get here, John, or
That is that's either a 64 or 5 Thunderbird. I don't know which. I only know how to tell them apart from the back. Somebody like Mexican Spec might be able to tell you from this angle.
That's a pretty car. I would invest money in keeping a car like that going really nice.
Okay, then there's this one, which is this is the radio.
The one with the radio. Oh, that is the one with the radio.
That is the one with the radio.
Oh, that's a neat kind of thing.
Look at that. Velcro radio. Look at the right there where that's the dial to tune it. And the battery back where the gas tank goes. Got 4 slicks on it. Yeah, that's I need to see the turn signals. I know what they look like from the back. I know the 64 and 5, but and you're right, it's the turn signals because one of them set up in segments, and the other one has little Thunderbirds, and the little Thunderbirds don't.
Zoom in more. What it says Ford on the bottom there.
The
Ford Motor Company, model something 171.
it might say.
Replacement battery. I can't see it.
Doesn't say what year it is. Okay, then we're
Pretty
gonna
neat,
look
though.
at something else he sent.
Mustang?
Another
What year Mustang? I don't know the
that's
Mustang
that's
years.
either 65 or 6. And there's people that think they're 64s, but they were all 65s.
Oh.
Just produced in 64. There it is upside down.
It's neat how the whole drivetrain and floor pan molding is all accurate. To the
Single
vehicle.
exhaust.
Single? Oh, yeah, it is. Super single.
A super single.
V8 engine.
Yeah, 64 had solid turn signals, had a little bird.
Wait. I got a question here.
Wow.
How is the oil pan dropping through the lower control arms? Is that how those cars really were?
Not really. Lower control arms are. It's not really accurate.
Ha! I have found
But
laws.
the springs were on the top. See, it's a 65. I can tell by the grill. Or is it? And has sold.
Doesn't it say
it's
65 or 66 on the
so lit up.
66?
It is a 66. See, 65 has a bar that comes out like this. And 66 just had bars in the background. So it is a 66. What's this one? 66 Bonneville. Man, it's all these great old models. dual exhaust.
Oh, that's neat. The exhaust is actually an add-on. That's a model, not a
That looks like an AMT model. The way I used to build those, I knew those so well because they were fairly well detailed underneath, but it was still one piece that just screwed on,
Do you
and there were
already know
four
which car it
screws.
is?
Yeah, that's the '66 Bonneville,
Oh, okay.
and we can close this and look at the Bonneville. There's the Bonneville.
65 has the perforated grille.
Yep.
The Bird is a 64. The Strange is a 66, and the Pontiac is also a 66.
It is.
When I was growing up, there was a 65 Bonneville in the fallen down barn at my grandmother's farm. That was pretty cool. It's gone now, though. I mean, it's gone since I was in my 20s. They came and took it away, but that was a cool time capsule. Had leather interior. It was a 6-cylinder car, but it was a 2-door.
Mexican spec like those hearses. You had a hearse, or yeah, I guess you had a hearse. I think an ambulance or something.
Oh, they look good as a hearse. Yeah.
I always like looking at those things, but I don't really want to own one and drive it around. As a new car, I would be surprised to see more of the old cars being restored. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm going to buy an older car.
but the price of repairs on cars is going through the roof, and the availability of not just parts but good parts is sketchy. Sometimes you buy 2 or 3 of the same part before you find one that's a good quality. It's so risky. You get marginal parts constantly, and then making returns and the time involved in that, and try installing parts that you can't really test. Like it's rough. You know, if you look at the price of good parts, good replacement parts, it isn't all that much cheaper to build your own.
Well, that's why I'm looking at cars. That's what Mexican spec says. DIY repairs are cheap. They are, except sometimes you need parts, but um, yeah, and the parts sometimes are less than good quality. But what I always say is, if there's not a tremendous amount of wiring and vacuum hose and stuff, and I can look in the engine compartment and see the ground underneath, that's probably a car that I'm more likely to like and buy, rather than when I open the hood and all the stuff looks like the same shape as the hood, where they barely packed it in there, and all kinds of modules and connectors and connectors that are this big with 300 or 400 wires coming out of them. It's like, no, I like one wire come with the ignition and one wire going to the
It's nice.
oil
But you
pressure.
also really want cruise control, and you were complaining that's hard to
Well,
find in the old
but
cars.
but see, I don't mind a cruise control if it's a separate thing. I don't want one that's
Built
like
into the
all
CAN bus.
built into some
But they
CAN
work
bus.
better when they do work that way.
And then when one little there's a little zero where there should be a one or something in the computer somewhere, and the whole thing coasts off to the side of the road, and there you are, because your radio quit working. Nah, I don't like stuff like that.
38 Racing said something about that flooring again. What did he say, real quick? The contractor had a heck of a time building that floor. So I know a woman in Florida. I met in Florida one year, who does floors like this, and she does ocean. You ever seen those ones where it's like the ocean waves like coming up onto the shore and stuff like that? I'll bet she could do a floor like that. And if I am ever grotesquely filthy rich, I will have her make a floor just like this. I will go back to this stream, find these pictures, and have her make this floor for me, just so that we can duplicate these pictures in big life. And somebody was talking about the torque boxes. Did you see the
Yeah,
torque
that's why I
boxes?
brought this up,
Okay.
because
Oh yeah, in the front.
I'm trying to find everything again here, because it's
Your head's in the way.
lots going by.
I'll just
Just a lot going by, and I'm trying to find where I have.
torque boxes.
Oh man, I prefer the Eureka up to 64 when they went out of business. This is so fancy. Agree, Beth. I'm not sure. I said something way back that John agreed with, probably about the wiring and stuff. Let's see. Whip North. Where's the thing about the torque boxes?
Oh, I'll go back and find it.
Man, I brought up torque boxes. By the time it was gone, did
Blue
you?
Grid Garage said, "Did you notice that the Mustang model had torque boxes, which were only on the convertibles until '67, which only had one torque box, and 1968 both sides on all early Mustangs."
I don't know exactly what we're looking at here, but
I think behind the front tires to the outside of the frame rail, is that where the torque boxes are?
yeah, it is.
Somebody correct me, because I don't see anything that looks like a torque box on the rear.
Okay, scroll back down, so because we're losing everybody.
Okay.
So Dougster's taking off. Let's see, we're gonna miss that. Lost time for
Good
bed.
night,
Okay.
Dougster. Thank you for being here and making comments. We appreciate you.
Hey, that potato's starting to sprout.
Potato, potato, potato. We have to plant it.
I know, but it's like wrong time of the year, isn't it?
No, if you can plant it now, it'll be okay. But if you leave it sit, it's gonna die before spring. Are we really looking at a model for correctness?
Yes,
It
we are.
seems like we are.
Yeah, we are, I
It was
guess.
just comments. It's just discussion. We can talk about
Like those
anything.
lower control arms. There's not they're not something there isn't quite right.
No, definitely.
But you know, you look
Weird.
at this kind of thing, and you know they
Sketchosaurus.
got. I mean, that is a Ford unibody type construction under there, and it's not too bad. Uh, Mustang with coilover arm or underneath with upside down. I'm not sure. I lived in Ohio. I used to go to CW coaches often. So many pro cars. CW. I know there was a place out in like Norwalk, Ohio, where they built limousines and ambulances, but I don't remember which one it was. But they were gone by the time I was working out there. But I heard a lot about them that they had been there. Yeah, some of them are kind of accurate. A friend of mine in California is famous in that world. Let's see, which world is that? Okay. Trade-ins for Bob Hedges.
Who's Bob Hedges?
It's got no torsion bars, so it is an Alfa Romeo, not a unibody Mopar. So that's what's deficient. Yes, I agree with you about being able to see see in the ground. Yeah. So I love my '57 Bel Air. Yeah, I'm looking at even like Ford Fairmont. You know, it's late '70s, early '80s. You know, they're still pretty simple, and I wouldn't mind having a. Oh, I was going to ask here. I know somebody 38 somewhere in here. Now I don't see it. It's probably already scrolled by. Said he has cruise control on both the 59s. So I wonder what how long have they been on there? Is a kit that's still available? What, you know, how do they work? Is it vacuum type or has it got stepper motors or how does it work? And how do you like it? And where do you get it? My FANG car is going to be paid off next week. No more car payments. Doesn't that feel good? Man, I paid that Mazda off. It felt so good. I figured I'd have it the rest of my life and it's gone. Then I got to go chase down something else, but I'm going to try to make it fun. Um, I'm at the point where I'm kind of, you know, I still want to go out and get in the Mazda because it's a nice car to drive, but it's gone. But I'm kind of getting in the, I'm interested in some of the cars I'm looking at. So it's like, okay, next era of my life, I'll have some other car, and it's something I'll be older probably. Right, Kim, the large plates under the seats are also from the convertible. They must have a convertible model and save dollars by, yeah, or they didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
The model the company that made the model didn't know the difference and just copied the bottom. Uh, Flexible, maybe buff. They built mostly Buicks and buses. Now it's flexible. It was one of the names that you always see on the big coaches, the big ambulances and uh, hearses. They built them in Norwalk, Ohio, because all the old guys around there knew about the company. I used 95 to 99 Chevy pickup units. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Of course, I don't know. Then I don't know, how do those work? Do they have a vacuum, big vacuum thing that pulls on the throttle, or is it 95 to 99? That could be either. I don't know. I don't know what they use then. If they're stepper motors or if they had if it was vacuum. And I've thought about just designing my own thing, but I don't know. Ronnie Shackelstein is here. Good evening. Buck, you should try a plug and play vape pen. Find your Fox body. Have fun with that. Yeah, I'm looking. There's two right now. There's two that I'm seriously considering.
Oh, there's another one now. Cool.
One of them is kind of a fox body, kind of an outgrowth of a fox body. It's a Thunderbird, late '80s Thunderbird, and the other one's a late '70s Fairmont. And if the Fairmont's still available, that's probably what I'm going to go toward. I think. I'm not sure. And anything could pop up today or tomorrow, My friend died. He had a short wheelbase, 1960 Buick straight hearse in white. Wow, 60. That must have been quite a thing. 1960 Flex Force. Man, what was in Norwalk, Ohio? Stay away from T-tops. Yeah, I see T-tops. That's the first thing that goes gone. I don't even want anything with a T-top. Okay, I don't know what Ronnie said now because he's got a correction. So can you scroll it up so I can see what he said? Just for a second, just so I can go back up there and see what he said. Try it. Oh, instead of buck, it's buff. Okay, scroll back down again. I see.
No vaping. He's not going to start a new bad habit at this age. If you want to vape, I don't care. He hates the smell of cigarette smoke. Oh my God. Really hates it. He can smell it a mile away and he despises
If there's a car,
it.
2 or 3 cars in front of me and somebody's smoking, it comes through my vents, it
He
pisses me
hates
off.
it. So I don't see that happening.
God, my dad lived in the house with my mother, smoking his whole life. And she quit smoking a year before she died, and then she died. And then it was a few years later, he came out to Ohio to see us, and he was in the car with me. And there was somebody smoking in the car in front of us, and it was coming through my vent. And he goes, "Oh, that cigarette stinks." I go, "You can smell that?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Oh yeah, it bothers me." But he was he'd gotten used to clean air, so he was noticing it. Because the mic is in the house. I don't know, things are scrolling by quickly. Oh, Land and Custom Classics. Man, I was just watching, and I didn't have time to leave a comment on your video about your spark plug cleaner thing. We had one exactly like that where I worked out in Arizona. I wanted to tell you about it, but I had to get busy and get ready for this. But I watched your video anyway. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat's here. Good evening. Lester Sabers here. Yeah, Miller. Wait a minute. Eureka coaches were in Norwalk. Okay, it was probably Eureka. Because Eureka built ambulances and hearses, didn't they? I think. Yeah, because whoever it was in Norwalk. Was that everybody told me that they had been there.
Rich says his bad habits have bad habits. I don't care. Ronnie Sheckelstein says THC only, no
Oh,
nicotine or tobacco. That's gross. Um, THC, actually, I think marijuana and most of its derivatives are illegal in Tennessee currently. And we're not really craving that, so, but
It says here Miller Meteor was in Norwalk when they were owned by Eureka. Okay,
is
see
that the
that makes
vacuum cleaner people?
no. They made like mostly big Pontiac and Cadillac
Okay, okay.
coaches,
Coaches.
like
Okay,
you
Meteor
know,
coaches. I
like
see.
like a like an ambulance or
I
these
got it.
high top vehicles or big stretch limousines and stuff. But I knew they were there because everybody talked about it. I agree. I also dislike the smell of cigarettes. So that's a nasty stuff. I grew up, my mother just smoking, smoking, smoking. She 2, 3 packs a day, and the whole house reeked. And we had forced air ventilation in the house, and I took sheet metal and put it over on the inside of the vent so nobody could see it. My parents didn't see it, so no heat ever blew into my room. Stuffed a towel under my door and kept my window open year round. And because I'd rather be cold than have the cigarette light all the way through school. My clothes reeked of cigarette smoke. I just hate it. So, I don't have that anymore. It's embarrassing to go to school like 13, 14, 15 years old and you just reek of cigarettes. What else did this? See, came back in Canada and built white on white coach with a removable roof over the driver. Hmm. Vitamin T, H, and C. Yeah, vitamins. Those are vitamins. THC. Um, the same way about cigarettes. I'm very allergic to it. I don't know if I'm allergic to it. It just people think it smells bad. It's not the
It
smell.
reminds him of
It just
not your things.
gags me. I just cannot breathe it.
And see, I'm kind of to me it's a comfort smell, and I know it's a
Oh,
pungent odor that people that don't like are very like bothered by, but like for I grew up, my grandfather smoked cigars,
and
and that
cigars are
reminded
different.
me of holidays and time with my grandparents, which was, like comfort time and holidays and, family time. It was good. And my dad smoked a pipe, and that was just like when he was home and we were relaxing and watching TV, that was a smell that was familiar. So to me, that was a comfort smell. And then I smoked for a while, but cigarettes, I'm glad I quit cigarettes because I know they were unhealthy and expensive. But when I'm around people who are smoking, but then again, I don't want to smell like smoke because then people think I smoke. So, anyways, very
So here, the
opinionated
spark
things.
plug cleaner is a neat piece. We bought that one like probably new back whenever we got it, and we had aircraft spark plugs that we could no longer get. So we had all these airplanes that had these plugs, and we were trying to save them.
Is it a little miniature sandblaster?
It's two things. It's a sandblaster, and then where you test it for the spark, you pressurize that to its pressure, the highest pressure
Okay,
that the compression is, because it's harder to jump a gap when it's pressurized. So when you test the spark plug, you need to pressurize that chamber, and there's a gauge on his that goes up into the green. When it's up in the green, that's when you see if it'll spark.
I
And if
see.
it
That's
sparks,
cool.
it might spark before you have the pressure, but if it doesn't spark after you have pressure in there, it's not going to spark in a cylinder when the piston comes up.
Why would
So
it not spark in under pressure? Is that
pressure,
like a
pressure,
higher resistance, like the center?
something like that. I
Okay,
just know it happens.
it happens. Got it.
Ryan Shackelstein says, "Sorry to hear that. I'm in California. I'm not sure what that's about. What was that about?"
I don't know. I think we lost.
We like scrolling so fast, I can't
Sorry, we
keep up with
lost
it.
path. We can't keep up.
Um,
We have to just keep moving forward.
Sundays and no shooting. I don't know what Dean's on there. Vehicles, but vehicles. Yet another spelling error.
Okay.
I don't know.
And moving forward. Okay.
I'm
JB's.
sorry, the stuff's scrolling by
Superior
too fast.
used Pontiac and Cadillac chassis. Barnett used Pontiac 2. Cotner Beavington used Oldsmobile chassis.
Flexible.
Flexible
Yeah, it was
used Buick
flexible.
chassis. Most other big names used Cadillac.
Flexible.
Memphian used Mopar.
Flexible made buses too, and they spelled it funny, and you just had to get used to the way they spelled it.
I
That's
see.
that's the correct way to spell it.
They didn't want to use any
Oh.
National Coach out of Knightstown used Pontiac and Chevy chassis. Didn't National Coach make buses too?
Like that's that one that's over there at that funeral home in Clarksville, and they've got that bright orange 57 Chevy ambulance out there that sits out there all the time. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
do. Yeah, it's bright red,
That
isn't
that
it?
could be red. I thought it was orange. Yeah, it could be red. Um,
Don't forget
I
about the
don't know who
ammo
made it.
wagons.
I don't know who made it.
We should stop sometime and ask if we can take pictures.
Someone chopped off your six finger line.
That was up there with the red finger with the little looks like blood kind of thing.
Don't forget about the amble wagons. Man, I remember something that said amble wagon on it. What is that all about? I remember that name said amble wagons. We had a Champion spark plug cleaner. Yes, it has sandblast built in. Nice to
Charge condensers and toss them to someone. That's evil.
Here, grab this. Snap.
That kills people, Carl.
If they're small capacitors, it just doesn't. Man, I made a thing that had a coil. Well, it was a transformer, a big old step-up transformer. You put a D battery on it, and it had a crank with I did this in grade school. It was little notches, so when you turned the handle, it made a square wave. And then I had two pieces of Romex wire coming out. I soldered pennies to them, and I tell people, grab those pennies, and they grab the pennies, and I go like this, and go, yeah, because it would step the voltage way up. There's no current, but they'd feel it. People didn't like it. People didn't like that toy. I didn't even know that. But oh yeah, I was wondering why you didn't pressurize it. You said you didn't have any. You said you didn't have any air in the shop yet. Then I understood why you didn't. But if you put pressure in there, well, it may spark, and then when you put pressure in there, it may not, and that's what'll tell you if the spark plug's any good. Six finger, 1, 2, 3. I don't know about what that. Okay, Tavo's here. Good evening. Via Falcon videos up. Okay, I'm gonna have to look for that.
Guys, go check out Tavo's new VF Valiant video.
Yeah, maybe Mexican Spec. You can put up a link for Tavo's channel if you're able. I appreciate it. It's a picture of an Edsel amble wagon in the
I might
Hearst
just
books.
try and find it since you've got
Edsel. Maybe that's where it was. Edsel is where, or amble wagon. Maybe it's on the Edsels. That one I commented on. We had a Sun engine analyzer. One of the best parts of it was the engine detail sheet box on the side. You could find anything for the engines. Likely national, but there's a lot of coach makers. Yeah, that 57. It's a 57 Chevy just sits out there in front of a funeral home in Clarksville, and it looks like it looks like a restoration, but it's probably original. It's probably something they had way back. I caught Tavo's Valiant video earlier. Olive already saw it. There's 59 Dodge combination here in Mexico. Comment. Oh, you got it? Oh, Kim's gonna put it up. I think she's putting it up.
There you go. There, I did it.
Okay, that's for.
I don't know why I was asking Mexican. I know how to.
Okay. We both got it.
I win. I award myself 1 point for doing my own job. Sorry, Mexican Spec.
What is making that engage with your audience thing up there?
I'm sorry. I was hovering.
Oh, okay. Man, I'm trying. It's going so quickly. Field phone magneto will lay you out. Really? Oh, when you crank.
Oh yeah.
Those things. Yeah. Oh yeah, we had one of those when I was somewhere in school, and we'd get in a big circle, and the teacher. I can't believe teachers did this thing. They'd crank that thing, and it was a field phone magneto, and somebody would drop out, and then somebody else would drop out, and as the circle got smaller, it got more intense, and whoever was left at the end that could hold it, they were the winner. I had a teacher like in second grade or third grade or something that do that to us. It was like a big game. I don't think they'd be allowed to do that today.
No.
Yes, I think something commented about the Master, which is remote mounted vacuum booster. Man, I'm sorry, people. I just can't keep up with it. It's just scrolling by so fast. There's a for 737 Toggle instead found. Oh yeah, that rudder issue on a 737. Yeah, that was bad. Steering box adapters. 737. Black box hearse up at 7. Man,
It really isn't effective to
you.
mumble under
I
your
know. I
breath.
know. I'm trying to read this quickly.
Okay.
You're better at this than I am.
All right. Well, Mexican Spec says, you beat me by just a little. I get half points. That's correct, Mexican Spec. I will award you 2 half points. No whole points, but 2 half points. You can use them to upgrade other half points, but not each other. They're both left-handed half points. You need a left and a right.
How many fingers do I have?
Guys, with the fingers? What is this
He's
even?
asking how many fingers I have, so I added one to my hand. But that was obviously a fraud.
American funeral cars and ambulance since 1900. Yes, I did. Haven't found a copy to replace it yet. Mexican Sex says he read through it cover to cover. I found one error and exactly one error. It was on the car that I had, a 1963 Eureka Landau. Ironic. Well, it was the one that you had, so the mistake stood out to you. It was written by AI, so it's riddled with mistakes. Tommy Hanlon says, hello from Dublin. It's 2:30.
No, it's 3:20.
That's what I said. They stabbed me in the brain with a needle, people. Just give me a little bit of grace here.
You're doing this is the best you've done in like a day and a half. You're just really rolling tonight.
Rich says, Mike, if you can grab the engine analyzer on the cheap, grab it. Works well for the older cars. I think if we serviced other people's automobiles, it would be something interesting to have. But only working on one car, I can take my time and do this, that, and the other thing. I don't know what feature does the analyzer have that I can't do without other tools? Isn't it just a big all-in-one combined kind of tool? And then the distributor analyzer, like I can put it on the car and then test the distributor on the car. I don't need an analyzer. If I was making a lot of distributors, it would be really helpful to have the analyzer so I could make one, test it, make another, test it, and I wouldn't have to fiddle with a car. But I have a car.
See, and then JB says he found a picture of that 57 Chevy. He says it's National Coach.
Oh, JB, I award you a point for finding a picture of Clarksville's 57 Chevy hearse and finding out that's a national.
Except I think it's an ambulance.
But it was made by National Coach.
Okay, yes, he's right.
I don't know if he's right.
Well, we think he's right.
We think you're right. We're going to give it to you. You get a point. I'm not giving out a lot of points. I'm being stingy, aren't I? Rich, they want 200 for the thing and analyzer and 300 for the distributor machine. Yeah. I mean, they're like museum pieces.
You know my friend, you actually don't know him, but you know he is. My friend in California, Vern.
Yeah.
The one we've had a picture of his cars up here in the
Yeah,
past,
yeah, I
some of the
remember
Kaisers
Vern.
and stuff. He's got an old distributor machine in his garage.
But how often does it get used? It's a table. It's a pretty interesting design, really pretty.
Yeah, but he does that, and well, he's always buying, selling old cars, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a useful thing for him. It's pretty cool because it's ancient and it works. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, we went to Don's Uncle Sonny's last weekend in Ohio. He's getting another 62 Plymouth Valiant. We'll probably buying it someday. Wow, so you're already back from Ohio. You know, it seems like you were just going to Ohio, but I guess
the days are roaring by.
The days are going by.
Can you believe it's October, people? I sound like a maniac, but it's fall. Racing season's about over. That's okay though, because it's engine rebuilding season.
Chat GPT. That's Chat GPT. I can't even say it. GPT. Ask him something that we just talked about. Like
we don't like
who made the 57 Chevy Coach, you know, make up something. So the sun is a big machine. Yeah, my friend Carl had a big sun machine, one of those giant things that you roll around. Looks like a size of a roll around. Looks like three Coke machines together to roll around. He had one of those in his garage for doing old '60s stuff, and he passed away, and I don't know what they did with that. Somebody got it, sold it. JB Bernie de Winter and I used to show our superiors to get. Okay, so you're one of those guys that knows a lot about those.
What's a superior?
Superiors, another company that made those like coaches, ambulances,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll find one.
ambulances and hearses and maybe maybe limousines, flower cars they call some of them. I have a small old Craftsman box with dwell RPM and volt. That's all I use. That's blue grit.
Here we go.
My car is hibernating for the winter. Oh, yeah, look at that 61 or 2 Cadillac. Which one is it? Oh, it says it's a 60. Oh, it probably is a 60. I remember things like that when I was a little kid. Those were like the newest, latest, greatest ambulances then. They had big mechanical siren on them. Yeah, I remember those things. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The funeral homes did run ambulance service when they weren't busy.
Oh, yeah, it was back in the days where it was what they call it, the meat wagon. You throw the person in the back and go like hell to the hospital. There's no equipment back there.
Blue Grid says I have a small old Craftsman box with dwell RPM and volts. That is all I use. Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, an engine analyzer, great big floor model unit, right? Or a dwell meter, right? Small enough to fit in your toolbox, but you don't use it very often. So it actually goes in like the bottom drawer or the top shelf where you hardly ever use it and it's out of the way. Like we have to work with that because that's just where we're at in life. Like we are space, we only have so much. We actually have a lot of space, but it doesn't feel like much because it's full of stuff. We do have a lot of supplies and tools. We're like very lucky.
Two hacks back, he said he sold his, or maybe he's been lurking, sold his Sun 404 distributor machine. It was mint.
It would be really cool, but like it takes up.
I know there's so many things. There's so many things I want.
I think a brake lathe would probably be more useful and valuable than a distributor
things
machine.
I want are all those brake tools, but they just take up space, and I don't have any space.
We're tripping over stuff constantly.
We're just struggle just to get around the shop and have a vehicle in there. I do like killer metrics. Just don't tell metric JB's little shop. I don't know, Dean. Superior built all of them. I almost bought a '65 Superior Pontiac limo last year. Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw it.
Yeah, a friend of mine had a '59 Cadillac. It was red and white. It was an ambulance, and it was just looked just like the Ghostbusters, but it was like 10 years before Ghostbusters. He ride around that thing. He put some T-shirt material over that forward-facing red lights, so they looked like it just had some kind of white covers in there. But when you turn them on, it'd be red. Yeah, police stop him all the time for having red lights facing forward. He get in trouble. That ambulance.
Two Hacks says he's downsizing on some things, but he's going to build another dragster. That's cool.
Making room for the next.
Curious to see. Yeah, well, you have to make room.
But... Is that the one? Are you putting a 283 in that? Is that the one? I think you said you were building a 283 or something, and I was trying to figure out And
Two
I
Hacks Garage just put out a video. They pulled a Honda motorcycle out of the weeds. That was kind
oh
of interesting. I watched it. So check out Two Hacks Garage if you haven't seen his channel. Good guy. Go ahead.
I don't know. I remember I told you last night or night before something that a friend of mine had a '68 El Camino
Mm-hmm.
that he built a 283 for it, and that thing was freaking fast. And I always thought he was cheating. It was probably a 350 or something, but he go, no, it's a 283. But I drove it, and it was just a street machine that was. I mean, it wasn't like you're not going to go out and win races with it, but when you start rolling in on the gas pedal, it got with a program, And it surprised me that a 283 could do that.
Blue Grit says it's been fun, but I have to make like a tree and leaf. Blue Grit, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being
We'll
here.
see you again soon, hopefully.
2X wanted to do a 283, but now doing a 302. And does everybody know the difference between a 301 and a 302 Chevy? They're the same dimension.
I thought a 302 was a Ford
Well, there's a 302 Ford.
and a 305 was a Chevy.
Well, there's also a 307 Chevy and a
Oh God,
302
all the
Chevy.
numbers.
302 Chevy was a Trans Am engine that had to be under 5 liters, and it was a 4-inch bore and a 3-inch stroke. But a 301 Chevy is what they used to build. 283s, they'd bore them an 1/8 inch, so then it had a 4-inch bore, and there's enough meat there to do that. And they called them 301s, but they're exactly the same dimensions as a 302. But one was a D-stroke 327, the other was a bored out 283, but same damn dimensions.
But not the same block.
No, but it's just I wonder if anybody knew the difference because that all happened when I was. That's the age I was when all that kind of crap was going on. So I got a '69 Pontiac Combo with factory 428 HO in it. Oh man, the trouble I got in that car. I got kicked out of town racing a new '94 Cadillac. Still building a 283 for fun though. Man, after driving that, this was years ago, drove that El Camino with a 283 in it. Man, I liked that thing after that. JB just took something away. 68 or 69. You guys would be using a lot of hard to find parts like KB high dome pistons, Duntoff 3030. Oh man, I remember that. And that was when I was a kid. It was like, yeah, what kind of cam you running? Yeah, 3030 cam. I remember people saying that 3030 cam. Rear Holly intake. It's a copy of the DC302 high-rise dual plane.
I'm gonna give you the screen for a minute.
Oh no. Okay.
Unless you want to be done. I need a little
You need a break.
A little break.
Okay, take your little break.
Okay.
I got redness under here that I know is not. I know I'm not a redneck. I know it's lighting issues.
It is lighting. This low light I took out to the garage. I don't have a cord for that bulb.
Oh, so we lost our low light.
I have
Okay.
it somewhere. Yeah, the low light gives him. His chin's not this red, folks.
No, it's a lighting issue here, and
I'm
it kind of
sorry.
sucks.
I'm sorry.
And I'm noticing it.
Here, let's get.
That
If I turn this too close to you.
Yeah, I know. Then it does. It's
Well, then it's
really
in your eyes.
really in my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We gotta just
Under chin bulb.
we got 3 or 4 of these big long LED bulbs, but they're supposed to have these little cords to hook them together. But they only come with 2 cords to plug in. So now we've got.
They only come with 2. There's
Yeah.
another one somewhere. I just don't know.
They
where
come
it
with
is.
cords to daisy chain them,
And
but
I
not
need a break. I'm feeling dizzy.
not so many of the big cords.
Just need a little break. Yell for me. You have the screen though.
All right.
Work with that?
Yeah, but don't be gone too long. No 5 Mexican spec says no 5-hour lives on Tuesdays, but nope. No, we'll how long we been in here? We've been in here like 2.5 hours. We'll probably go another half hour or something like that, maybe. How fast are you going? Even with the 428, that was pulling a lot of weight. Oh, that kind of 428. There were a bunch of 428s, Fords, Pontiacs. I guess those are the only two. They're on 4-lane road. It was stoplight Grand Prix. The stoplight Grand Prix. Funeral director in the new Cadillac and I became good friends after that. Yeah, the maroon sweater, which is actually just a t-shirt. And that's what it is. It's really dark. It's really dark. And then on screen it looks like it's almost like it's red. Yeah, that this redness under here it's just lighting. And then it looks like I got some kind of neck disease. Well, I've got so many shirts and sweatshirts and all these things, and they're all either camo or dark green, or they have that military look. Well, with a green screen, it just looks like my head's floating around with no torso. So I really get down to only a few things I can wear. I gotta start buying some more shirts. I just bought some black shirts that I'll probably get some, probably do some logos on them for the channel. 1994, the weighted advantage. He had the LT1, but I had more power. However, I was pulling almost 8,000 pounds. We were neck and neck when we got stopped. It's a hilarious story. 2X, finding the right pistons for a 283 301 are damn near impossible. So I didn't even think about that because that was just something there was so much of it. I don't even think about that today, but that was, that was 50 years ago I was doing that crap. And 2X, I won't say it here, but you told me when you were born. And it's like, man, I used to live really close to where you live. I'm like, oh yeah, I used to live here, and I told you when, and you said, yeah, but I told me, and it was like you were born like many years after I lived there. Like, oh man, and I still think like I'm, 15 or 16 or 17, working on these engines they're just, I can imagine, almost impossible to find those things. It's like finding 302 pistons that are forged in high compression. Both 283 and 302 use 1.805 compression height piston. I remember people did it. It was before the 302 Chevys came out. Well, those came out late 60s. So the 283s, well, there were 327s had the 4-inch bore, and 283s were an 1/8 inch under that. Well, people bore the 283 an 1/8 inch, and then they'd have a 301. That was such a common engine when I was like in high school, junior high and high school. Let's see here. We're probably going at least 90 and a 45. Try not to stop that thing. How do the brakes work on those big dudes? He didn't arrest us because nobody would have believed two idiots were racing horses in town. Said these kids, am I right, Poe? Man, I was 1970, I was 16. That's when I got my driver's license. But before before that, when I was 13, 14, and 15, I was tearing bicycles apart. But man, I was hanging out with car guys. I didn't have a car, but man, I had Hot Rod and Carcraft magazine. And I knew everything about these engines, back then. Drove my 63 as my daily for about a year. Nobody ever looked twice at me, even when I had severely expired plates. I was invisible. I know Custom Classics. I'll be 40 on the 24th. Gonna do a birthday stream. Hey, that'll be fun. On the 24th. Okay, let's see. What day is that? I know it's the 24th. I'm trying to figure out what day so I can. Man, something else coming up then, too. Something else coming up. So the 24th is next Thursday. We will just oh, Thursdays. Kim has a meeting on Thursdays, but maybe I can. I don't know. Depends on what time you do it. I'll try to be there. Land and Custom Classics. Not this Thursday, but the next Thursday is his 40th birthday. He's going to do a stream. Well, we can plan to be there. Yeah, okay, well, you have a meeting too, so I don't want to interrupt. I'm talking to Kim back there. See, 2X Buff. Other kids read comic books. I read old Hot Rod and Carcraft magazines. They knew Batman. I knew Garlitz and Prudhomme. Yeah, I got my first Carcraft magazine. It was like a newsstand my parents used to go to, and they'd take me in there sometimes. And I'd go in there, and my brother's a year younger, my sister's a year younger, so we were little kids. Go in there, and they had a candy counter, so we'd always be in there. Can I, can I? Looking at the candies, and they're like, no. Sometimes they'd let us have one candy bar. So, uh, one time I was in second grade, I was in there, and I got to looking at the magazines, and I wouldn't want candy anymore. I wanted I remember it was a July 1962 um, Carcraft magazine, and I still have it. And I mean, that was my first car magazine. I was in second grade, and I read that thing cover to cover. Every time, I just begged to go down to that store and get whatever the newest Carcraft magazine was. Just that got me started. Well, that and going to the library and getting Motors Auto Repair manuals. I mean, between those two things, I mean, my education was Motors Auto Repair manuals, Carcraft magazine, and then I had a little TV that I bought. It was in the headboard of my bed, and I'd keep it turned brightness way down, and I'd put my earplug in, and I'd watch Johnny Carson at night. That was my education. those three things. And a lot of times, just listen to Johnny Carson. Then I have questions because he'd say something that was funny, and I didn't understand it. Then I had to go to school and listen to the history or whatever it was, so I understood what the joke was. So I mean, it was all good for me, probably. Rich says I have wrenches older than 40. Yeah. Oh yeah, me too. I got tools I bought. They're older than 40. The first tool I bought was a metric wrench, one of these ones for bicycles. It's real flat and it's got like 3 or 4 different wrenches on it. It was a metric wrench for a. I think my bicycle was made in France, but I'm not sure. Something my father bought at what were the Western Auto, I think is where he got it. Could have got it at Montgomery Ward's or Sears or something, but I think it was made in France, so it was metric, and I had to buy that wrench. And so that was my first tool. I was in third grade, 1963. Not sure what day I'll do it. Oh, okay. Waiting to see when my girlfriend is off work. Okay, so you don't really know when. Rich, I saved my money in a cigar box for my '84 Mustang GT. Bought her new. Wow. Wow, you bought a new '84 Mustang GT and you saved money in a cigar box. Man. Yeah, if you got a VIN and everything, maybe you'll find it. 84. When did they put the new dash? There were 2 dashboards or 2 instrument clusters they used like this. There's a thing uh, in the Fox Body Mustangs. The first one was a big wide thing that was just like a flat panel. It just fit in like a thing. And then later, it was a smaller cluster, and there were like wings out here that had buttons and stuff on them. And I don't know what years they swapped from the early one to the newer one. She was silver with a black hood. I still have a few tools that may be Victorian. God, did have a wood plane that my great grandfather had, probably late 1800s. And My father had it. He gave it to me, and I passed it on to my son because my oldest son's just a family history kind of guy. So he has that wood plane, big, big, heavy, thick thing with a blade that went through it. It's probably still works. Brand new 10-550. Wow. They made it. My buddy made $5,000 with 2 phone calls selling Universal the car for the second movie. 1980, so it was 87 and newer had the new instrument panel. Yeah, Mexican spec, I don't know all this stuff. So up through 86 and then 87 and later. She was an 84 and a half quad rear shocks. 87, it got arrowed. My first snap-on tool truck purchase was a clutch head screwdriver. I think I was 12 and I waved the truck down. My first snap-on tool that I bought from the truck was in 1971, and the guy had just a regular Dodge van. He opened up the side doors. He just like swing the side doors open, and that was his display there. He was an older guy, and I was 17, and I bought a breaker bar, a 3/8 drive breaker bar, and then I only saw him a couple more times, and he left Snap On, and after that he had might have been the same Dodge van. He was doing Cornwell tools, and that's when the first Snap On dealer that came in, the guy I knew for years and years, with a big truck that you walk, big step van that you walk up in there. Had a regular Snap On, you know, like a tool store. Mexican Spec says I graduated from high school that year. I was officially an adult. I missed what year that was. Custom Classics, Linux. 84. Wow, you remember your VIN? Well, you know what I'm going to do. I am going to take a picture of that. And later I'll put it in my list of VINs that I keep an eye out for. There are several VINs that I kind of watch for. Corvettes and a couple of cars that I had. Excellent spec. I remember the VIN to my Fury and 91 Ford Escort GT I bought new. I didn't know you had a 91 Escort GT. It was car number 283 or 238 in the production of the first year. The Escort has a salvage title now. Wow. Kim, how you feeling? Okay. I know my ex-wife's social security number. That's enough. It's really funny. I remember my first wife's social security number because we were only like 3 numbers apart, and we didn't know each other for years, but we must have been in that social security office at the same time or within hours. It's pretty funny. Paperwork to my 2005 Mustang GT. I'm thinking of looking for it and offering to buy it back. That was her credit. Not sure. Yeah, I want Kim to get back in here. I think she's headed this way. I kind of want you back in here, and I think you're headed this way. No, because I've been trying to read this and I forgot all about the picture. Okay, I'll get different picture. Yeah, that's kind of not the picture I want up there. Yeah, we'll put Mexican Specs vehicle up here. Maybe you'll sell it. Or the other one. I guess this one might be sold. I don't know. What's the other one? Mexican Spec has that one. I'll put that one up there. That's the one he wants to sell. Oh, I already moved way back 38. Yeah, I got tired. Kim's giving me a hard time because she looked in here and I still had the bottom of a Mustang. She goes, "You haven't changed a picture." I said, "Because I'm reading the chat."
Sometimes I make him run the chat all by himself just to keep him humble. Just to keep him humble. So he knows. Okay.
Let's Mexican Spec. Oh,
Not
you
really,
you
no.
swap shirts.
I would put a sweatshirt on, but I've been
What-
oscillating between hot and colds.
Oh, the Hunt for Red October sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Oh, you look good with a black
Comfy.
shirt.
Thank you.
Um,
See how much nicer he is? No, I needed a break. I'm
I know
doing
he-
well, but okay.
So
Thank you everyone for being here. We really enjoy. Like we wouldn't want to miss tonight. Like I would have been really disappointed if I wasn't well enough to come and stream tonight. Like it we look forward to it every week. Being in the studio is different. It's kind of cool because we get to do the pictures and interact in a more direct way. When we're out in the shop, we can talk to people, but when trying to get stuff done, it's very distracting. So this is
38's
cool.
taken off.
No. Good night, 38. We appreciate you being here.
Rich GT, just don't ask
Could
me
you
what I
switch
had
the
to put-
picture? The T-bird is better. He's
Well,
leaving because you didn't switch the picture.
Well, I went through it and I just cut,
Man.
cut, and I cut out all the models and went back to this.
Man,
I'm sorry.
they're tough. Leave if you don't get the picture you want. Man. Just don't ask me what I had for breakfast. I didn't have breakfast. You can see the wagon still has drum brakes. Why do people paint them?
Because they like to paint what's behind the wheels because they think it looks cool. It's like people like to, what's the number one modification people make as soon as they put wheels on? Well, they paint the calipers bright yellow or bright red or something, because
I like painted calipers better than rusty calipers. The
Yeah,
thing of it
rust
is a
doesn't
lot
look
of
good.
times if you don't prep them properly, it just peels back off anyways. But if you like powder coated calipers and stuff like that, that's kind of cool. I don't know, maybe not.
I'm
Maybe
sorry,
not.
I'm harmless, Dean. Kim, no, I'm leaving because 5 will be here sooner than I want. Yeah, you're.
I'm sorry for giving you grief. I was just teasing. I know everybody can't stay here for hours and hours. Thank
So,
you for being here.
I think
We'll be
we need
back
to-
later in the week. Maybe you can stop in for a
Don't-
late
you-
stream.
You know why I wanted you to come back in, but you're looking really nice, so maybe now I want to stay on a little longer. But I was going to say, come in and let's say goodnight to everybody, and let's.
Would you have anything else you need to talk about tonight?
I don't
Have
know.
you been through all the pictures that people sent in?
Yes, I've been through all the pictures.
Okay. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention? It's important before
What?
we go. And 38. Okay, so tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we like to watch the AHRA with Dallas Brown and usually Shane Polito, Professor P. And I'm gonna try, but we have a video about the frame repair we made on the Dart, and I'd like to premiere it tomorrow night after the AHRA.
So that would be the first thing we would do is a premiere, and a premiere comes on just like, I don't know if you know what a premiere is. It comes on just like this, like it's live. Man, my throat's killing me. Where
There'll be live
where it's
chat.
It's live chat, but it's actually a video that's been made, and you put it up as a premiere, so everybody could go in there and chat. But she's thinking about setting the video up.
We didn't make a thumbnail yet, so as soon as I get a thumbnail, we'll put it up as a premiere for tomorrow night. At what time are they done? Are they done at 9 or are they done at 10?
They're done at 9.
So tomorrow night at 9 or maybe 9:15. Is anybody able to
CNN
come for that? Is anybody
Mexican
interested
Spec
in
says
that?
they're going to be. They don't go to the AHR. He goes to Uncle Tony's live because he's a moderator in there. He says he's getting a 5% raise.
Oh, 5% more.
I'm sorry, but I'm out of voice.
Okay. What time is Uncle Tony done? Because we'll plan it for after the Tony.
Isn't he 2 hours as well?
Sometimes I watch Tony and he watches the AHRA. Mexican Spec has his loyalties. He knows where his bread is buttered. Tim says he'll be there. And
Okay,
38 Racing says,
so let's say sometime after 9,
hey, Dirt
we'll
Road
we'll
Landing.
put up
Welcome to the stream.
we'll put up a premiere, which will be the video she has made, and you can come in and chat and everything. You know, I might be in there chatting, but it won't be a live. It'll be a
Oh, we'll
premiere.
definitely be in there chatting.
Okay, so Dirt Road Landing just showed up, and we're ready to fail. Sorry, but I'm
Mexican
glad
Spec,
you showed up.
it's the appropriate cost of living increase is definitely 5% more.
Okay, so Tony's 2 hours as well. So sometime shortly after 9, maybe we'll put up the premiere.
Yeah, and there'll be a notification ahead of time that we're going to do that. Premieres help retention because everyone can watch and chat. I think it's fun to chat about what's going on, and I think it's a 16 or 17-minute video because it doesn't tell you how long it's going to be during the premiere. So I'm telling you ahead of time. It's a 15-minute video about making the repair on the frame rail, and I think it's entertaining, amusing, maybe perhaps somewhat educational.
Tim says he put it on his
Dog's
dog's. Oh,
alarm
you know
clock.
what? You know
Okay.
what? Now that Tim's here, I'm gonna do something that's gonna take another minute or two.
Tim was here earlier.
Was he?
Yeah, did you forget? Oh, we were in the middle of talking about something
I
else.
well, I'm gonna bring this up because Tim sent it in.
Good job. Good job.
And then this, because Tim sent it up. And I know it's right at the end of our stream, but it's all his pictures. Oh, there we go. There's a picture of Tim. So I did it.
Rich, we did not have good luck with premieres in the past, but I think now that we've been doing the regular live streams, I think that some people will show up and enjoy being able to chat during it. And we've seen other people in our content group having enjoyable chats during lives. So I think that's cool. And then Mexican Specs has asked, what time do we put out our videos? And he puts out his shorts at the same time every morning. What time does your shorts go up?
6 a.m. Central U.S. Central Time.
And then all the other videos are completely random. Completely random. We've never had any routine. And I've heard that that's bad. So we probably should do better with that.
Well, in our other lives, we end up working in a shop at night, so we just usually pop them on there about 10 or 10:30 in the evening. Same thing Central Time. But we never know what days we're going to do them. The only thing that's really scheduled well is which is 7 Central on Tuesday nights, and my shorts, which are 6 a.m. every day. I do a short every day. And in fact, if you want to go look at my short from this morning about the funnel, because YouTube had some problem and all the shorts didn't work
Oh, they were broken.
for like 3 hours this morning. It really knocked the crap out of my short that I put up just before their system broke.
Tim says those photos are from he and his wife went up Pikes Peak.
Yes.
Oh, you
Okay,
already said that.
and the Pikes Peak.
Sorry.
Well, I said it earlier, but Pikes Peak. He had you're all back to there. That's what they went up, Pikes Peak. Okay, so we're gonna be out of here, Kim.
All right. I can tell he's worn out, and my food is
my-
beeping, which is cool.
My voice has had it.
Yeah.
Sorry, my
Good
voice
job. I didn't think you were gonna. Well, okay.
Yep. What
Go
time is it anyway?
into.
Yeah, it's we've been on here 3 hours.
All right,
just
you
short of
guys
3
have been
hours.
great. We did a full-length stream after my procedure. I was able to be here most of the time. You guys were here. That's what made it count. Thank you for entertaining each other and being so welcoming to everyone who comes in, new and old alike. I'm sorry if we missed your chat or your photographs. We'll try and get to them next time. And we appreciate all the comments and interaction. It makes it fun. And we will be premiering tomorrow night around 9 Central Time a video, and we will be in the shop Thursday or Friday, or maybe both, maybe even Saturday as well. So if you like 10 o'clock Central Time to see us working on stuff live, you can come in and be in our live then. And that is going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a great night. We'll see you all again soon.